vacuum there. The leadership of the opposition didn't do their job. And he looked at it as a Machiavellian that he is. He saw the little gap and he penetrated through that little gap and started, speaking with others. He said, you don't have nobody to lead. You have to come. I'm happy to lead you. And the people look around and say, okay, where do we go? Nothing is happening here. Nothing is definitely happening here. There's absolutely nothing happening here. The house is being divided left, right, and center. Please, for those that will say, so what did we do about it? Go to my tweet in 2023, 2024. I started early with this whole opposition thing that you saw people are running helter skelter. I started early. I think I'm not the first, but I might be I'm one of those individuals who started early. Say, please, guys, there is a need for a coalition. People say, no, we don't want a coalition. We don't want to do it. It's not for us. I say, you guys, to defeat this man, there is a need for a coalition. For those that will stay on the comment section and insult me, please, before you insult me, go to my timeline, type coalition, and see how many times it will cut out there. And I mentioned 3 other things, which I did for free anyway. There has to be an electoral reform. There has to be a judicial reform. There has to be somebody who is willing to lead. And he, obviously, he's going to be here anyway. But let's say he or she now, right? We need to fund the CSOs. These 4 things, if you're able to do it, Bola Tinubu will not have any, there's no way, because he's not popular. He's not popular. He's not a popular candidate. And he knows that he's not popular. They didn't do it. I remember speaking with somebody from one of the political parties. I said, this is what I think you guys would say. No, it's too, we're not going to do it. We're going to remove this guy, the structure will come to us and everything. And I don't bet. I'm not the kind that I like to say bet money. And I told the person, I said, there is no way on this planet Earth you can take that structure from years on week. It will never happen. And I was told that I'm not a member of the PDP. I was told that I don't know what I was talking about. I was told that there are some meetings happening that I'm not. I said, I don't need to be a member of the PDP, but I can tell you, based on the little I know, Nyesom Wike is the owner of this structure. Now, I've been, a lot of things were said, which I would not make public. I keep saying, guys, you can't take this thing from this guy. This man is, the structure belongs to him. There has to be a coalition. You guys need to find a way to work together. I reach out to the other side. The other side don't even want to hear anything. They say, no. We can't join anybody. We can't do anything. Time keep going. Time keep passing and nobody did nothing. For those that will say, I said, we talk about, you analyze these things. What is the way forward? So I'm trying to tell you what I did to tell the people what I think is the way forward. There has to be a coalition as early as that time. They say, no, they don't need it, that they're going to take their structure. Time is not on your side. And I remember a chieftain of one of the political parties said to me, that's not how politics is being played. We are not going to do anything now, and we're going to take the structure, and when the time comes, we're going to hit Tinubu. Just watch, by mid-2025, Bola Tinubu will be looking for himself. I say it's not going to happen because you need to study who you're dealing with. This is not Buhari. Right? And things begin to progress. And I did tell people what would happen in the Labour Party, but that's not, I don't want to turn this place to a place I'm amplifying myself, saying, but I'm just trying to put it out there for those who will always say, oh, but you always talk, what is the way forward? You have not heard me talk about the coalition because I do not believe there is enough time. That is why you don't have me. When they formed the coalition, they formed the ADC. Yes, I heard that there would be a coalition. I had some things that I had. The day they formed it, the day they choose ADC and all those things, we had that. But my thing, why I don't want to put my leg on my leg, I don't choose not to lie to myself. You don't have enough time. Time is not on your side. Bola Tinubu is not somebody you can plan an election in 12 months and you think you're going to beat him. At least, to start with, in the National Assembly, there has to be a vibrant opposition. At least the numbers are not on his side. Get your guys together, get the Labour Party members together, get the PDP members together, get one of the ABGA or the YPP, the YPP guy, the late Ifeanyi later joined. Get them together. Make sure that some of these bills make things difficult for him in the House. But they didn't do it. They allow people to be jumping to APC, and then when people join to APC, now you want to do a coalition that you want to remove Bola Tinubu. How is that possible? You don't have the numbers anymore. And your governor started moving. So those who insult me, please, I've told you guys what I've done. Go to my comments, to my listen and put coalition and look at the dates. If you look at the date, then you can continue to insult me. Take it, you have the mic, sir.
Yeah, if just in case I've not said it on public space before, I know I've told you in private, we appreciate the assistance that you gave us and the insights that you gave us during the 2022-2023 elections. And even myself, I've made enemies from acknowledging that. But it is what it is. Nigerians will be Nigerians, the people will be people. But I don't want to dwell too. I said to myself after my last visit in Nigeria that it's obvious Nigeria as a country is not ready for what they want. And so what I predicted then was that, you know what? I predict that this government will do um, okay. The meager progress will be made, and they will continue to do what they're doing and make strides in one or two places in spite of the corruption and also maintain the corruption that exists in the country today. So anybody trying to come and push this government away in the next 2 years is that ship has sailed. I think we all generally agree to that. And it has sailed only not because we predict or we know, but the people or the things that should have been that should happen to allow such to happen. The time line for that thing has gone. It's going to be almost impossible. It will take miracles do happen, but it will take a couple of miracles and miraculous events to bring the country, to move this government out right now. What I want to talk about really is what you think would happen, because in come after another 4 years of this government, because right now it's obvious that the political players still cannot see themselves come together to work together to achieve a goal. It looks like everybody has thrown up their hands into the air, like, you know what, we'll just sit tight to the next cycle. That's my view, because no evidence of alternative view for me. What ADC is doing and what my prepared candidate is doing, they are not ready to do the work that needs to be done to move the government out of office. So from that perspective, I don't think you should give yourself any personally. I don't think you should give yourself any heartburn anymore. I think you should focus on the other things you want to focus on, and let's watch this country do what it does best. Unfortunately, it has functioned with this kind of corrupt lifestyle from beginning till now, and it will continue that way. Um, and I remember some of the PDP chiefs telling us that we don't know anything about politics. That this is it's a game, and this is how the game is being played. Well, I guess they're playing the game right now in ADC, and we'll see what will happen. But I just want to encourage you to please don't give yourself. It's about time you stop drinking Panadol for our country's problem. That's what I'm trying to say. Let me just summarize it like that. It's about time. That's a summary. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. When you're passionate about something, sometimes it's difficult to let go. Thank you very much for your kind word and for your advice. If my wife is she's around that she have had, she would have said I told him, right? Well, we continue to see what we can do to help where we can help. But thank you. Captain, you raise your hand, sir.
I'll start in reverse. Nothing like no drink Panadol for anybody headache. Oh. You know, fit safe. Make I just tell you that one because your kids can grow up now and decide to move back home. Anyways, Uncle Meister, my question now is right. Yes, I totally understand, and we all agree that today, tomorrow too soon. Um, these guys are not doing anything that is showing any signs of challenge, and a lot of people are not um, really focusing on the fact that because we are agreeing or we are saying they're not doing anything does not mean they're not doing anything. However, in the physical, we cannot see anything, and that's why we're talking about it. So, my question is, do you think or do you see um and why I'm asking this is because of time. There's no time. Well, that's what I believe. There's no time. But do you think or do you see any possibility of the opposition coming together with whatever they're cooking behind the scenes to actually cause an upset in 2027? Now, I must remind people that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, may God extend his life, is somebody who is not just relaxed. He's not just there saying, okay, I'm president, everything is good. He is making moves and he's putting things in place. So, based on or in this context, what do you think, Uncle Mindset?
All right, thank you very much, Captain. Please, I've made your co-host. Ariwa, I'm not sure if you're able to see Ariwa. He's on my DM. He said he's requesting for the mic, and there's one other person. If you're able to see them and bring them up, please. That would be.
How much they go pay me,
I
please?
mean, I don't know. You tell them how much you want them to pay you, please.
I charge for these things.
All right, thank you. Speak with them. But thank you, sir. Let me. Will, I'll come back to you and call believe. I'll come back. So let me answer. Do I think there's something these guys can do? That's the question, right? Book, in my own book, only 2% of removing Bola Tinubu for, just remove what I said that might change the narrative and what they need to do with the little time. Sorry, am I still audible?
Yes. Clear and loud.
Somebody's mic is on. Somebody's mic is on. Who might that be? Okay, sorry. There's somebody here. I think
Just carry on, Uncle Mindset. I'll mute whoever it is. Just carry on.
All right. So I think the persons all the people you brought in right now, they're interfering. They are interfering. So there are two things they can do. One, I will not speak publicly about on this platform. One, I will tell you, and that has to do with politics and if they can in this 11th hour, right, able to put themselves together, okay, and decide to do the job of the opposition, not waiting for any Nigerian to go out there and do it for them. They must lead by example, and they must present a candidate that will be acceptable by every Nigerian. Not everybody, but Nigerians will look at and say, this individual is worth me going out there. Right? It's the first thing. You need to find the person who is credible, who has what it takes, who is willing to lead. Find that person. That's the first thing. Then when you find that person, the next thing they need to do, the opposition need to show that they are willing to lead, because there is absolutely nothing that says that the opposition are willing to lead. Nothing. So if they're able to do these two things, maybe within the 2% they have, they might convince Nigerians to say, okay, guys, we are really ready to go out there. But if they continue with these poems they are writing and these, writing things and correcting yourself tomorrow, and Tinubu is just drinking tea and looking at them and say, these guys are, you know, lightweight. They don't even know what they want to do. They don't even know who their audience are. They don't even know what they want to do. I can give you an example if you permit me, but I don't want to hog the mic for a long time. So that's what I think they need to do. The first thing is that is something else that might happen, which is most likely it might not happen, might change the narrative, and the rest will say will be history. But if that didn't happen, the other thing that will happen is the 2% they have, they must work their ass off. They must show that they're willing to lead. They have to do what they have not done before. They need to go out there and say, Nigerians, we are here to rescue you people. What they are doing is they are sitting down, waiting for Nigerians to go and rescue them, rescue Nigeria and rescue them. There is nothing from this opposition based on the messages they put out there that triggers me. They say, okay, there's nothing here. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. APC 2014 wouldn't be so docile like this. And I think it was Tribe that said it. This opposition don't need to manufacture lies like Muhammad. There's nothing to manufacture. Everything is in front of you. Work with it. How is it difficult? How difficult is this? How difficult is it? Bola Tinubu have an APC that's giving you everything you need to work against them, but you don't want to do it, and you want to win elections. Anyway, that's my response. I hope I was able to answer your question. Sorry, have we lost Captain?
He's probably still negotiating his fee.
Okay. Take you raise your hand. There's another person who would like to contribute. Take are you still with us, right?
Yeah, I'm still with you. Let the person go ahead.
Okay, and Will, please go ahead as we wait for Captain to rejoin us again.
All right. Thanks, Mindset. Hi, everyone. Yeah. So, let me just start off before I make my main point. So in the area of what you call it, PR and media engagement, I think that's one place or one point that actually tells you how, the major place where where the opposition or so-called opposition are really missing it, are really failing. And like you rightly said, unlike we had in 2014, 2013, 2014, a build up to 2015, where they had to, in most cases, manufacture lies to make the government then look as bad as possible. They go to international media everywhere, and they were able to successfully do that. A lot of Nigerians bought into those lies and everything, and Jonathan got kicked out. In this case, on a daily basis, this government, drops, something that you could actually use in nailing the government, and you don't see nothing. They don't take these things up. They don't blow them up. They don't, So, like you also rightly said, they are waiting for Nigerians to do these parts, for them. So that's where I feel they are really, really. The opposition is really, really doing bad when it comes to that media and PR engagement. It's almost zero. Like to be sincere with you. So and what I actually requested for the mic is I'm just really concerned about the precedents being set by this APC government, especially under Tinubu. I think our constitution also has to be blamed. The way our constitution is drafted and all that. This case where you have people, because these parties, whether we like it or not, there's some form of why we say, okay, these parties are without ideologies and stuff like that. But there are things they stand for. There are issues or they have a pattern, So there are things they stand for, the way they run things, the way they lead and everything, And a lot of people, especially sensible and people who are able to analyze issues, are vote in these parties on that basis, right? And there's love some people have for these parties and all that. And then you have a situation where people out of whatever they believe a party stand for decide to vote for that party. And mind you, when you go to the ballot, when you go to the polling unit, on the ballot paper, you don't see individuals. You don't see an Atiku or a Peter Obi or a Tinubu or whoever your rep or governor is. You don't see no human face or human name on the ballot paper. What you see on the ballot paper is parties, it's acronyms of parties, right? You see party names and all that. That's what you see on those. So, which is to tell you that what's being voted in is the party, even though the individuals are using those parties as a vehicle to come in or whatever. But what the people thumbprint on is the party. And then from nowhere, out of the blues, anybody can just decide, that, oh, I want to decamp, and carry the people's mandate, full blown, with everybody else, threatening the state's house people and everybody else that if you don't follow me, you lose your job and all that stuff, right? And then you pack everybody to a different party, and then the constitution allows that. And then my concern now, and why I actually wanted to speak about this, and if maybe after this, I would like for you also to respond to this mindset, is the kind of voter apathy this will create in the future. Because, sincerely speaking, if I'm in Nigeria, I'll be very skeptical to want to vote anybody right now with what I'm seeing, because what will be going through my mind is, especially at the other lower levels, maybe even at the governorship level, maybe at the presidential level, that we've never seen that happen at the presidential level. But at any other level, I'll be skeptical to want to vote in anybody, because if I'm voting you based off of that, okay, I don't like what APC stand for, or I don't like what social party stand for, and I'm voting you in the party you're in, and then my fear would be, what if tomorrow you decided, as in you just wake up and decide to take the mandate to one party that I abhor, so what will I do? I'm helpless because the constitution backs what you're doing, so the voter apathy this is going to create in the future would be really, really, it would be really disastrous for Nigerians' nascent democracy. So that's the way I'm seeing it, that look, this is not good. And the earlier we address it, the better, because the way we're going, this is a president being said, don't think this would end with Tinubu. We're getting to that point where whoever comes into power, everybody will want to migrate. Everybody wants to just join whatever party that person is in and all that. So it's not good for our democracy. Just wanted to put that out. I yield the mic.
Is Captain still there? Because
I'm live, man. Oga, man said they tell you say I didn't negotiate now. No spoil my market.
all right, okay. Because somebody's on my DM saying that they're requesting for the mic. Thank you very much.
Trust me, I accepted him, but however, it's not my fault. He keeps dropping every time I bring him in. So don't worry, I'll handle it for you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you,
Sir.
thank you, Captain, and thank you, Will. Will, I'm not sure what question you would like me to respond to, sir.
Yeah, the question is, where do you think this, I mean, I wouldn't call it newfound development. It's been happening before, but it's kind of at another level right now. Like it's going parabolic, or whichever way you want to put it. Like it's over, like it's like we're all moving to a one party state, right? Like everybody wants to align with the center, not just aligning in terms of like, okay, I might be in my party, but I'm playing ball with the center, agreeing with Tinubu's whatever. They're all migrating to APC. So my question is, where do you think this leads us as a so-called democratic country? Where do you think this will lead us if the constitution is not amended to stop this nonsense? Where do you think this will lead us? Where somebody would just take the people's mandate and head to a party that the people don't like what they stand for. So, where do you think this will lead? Where do you think this is leading our democracy to? That's just the question. Anybody can respond to
All
that.
right, thank you very much, Mr. Will, for your question. You're asking a question: where would this lead us? or how are we going to come up from where we are? Because we have led us to where we are already. So, I mean, somebody's mic is on. Sorry, Captain, there's this person here, Sheena Budin, right? We have to remove them because they are really making this is the second time their mic is on. Please, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Sir. So, Mr. Will, sorry, I apologize. Mr. Will, we are there already. So it's saying leading us, it looks like what would happen. We are there already. I think the question is, how do we come out from where we are right now? Okay. And how to come out from where, the only thing I can tell you is what we can do to come out from where we are is to look back to what the people of Kano did and look at what the people of Zamfara State did, right? Because everybody that followed the Kano election knew that Ganduje wanted APC to take over Kano. The Kano people said it's not going to happen. So whatever would happen, let it happen. You're not going to take what belongs to us, right? The former governor of Zamfara State, who was the incumbent then, the same thing in Zamfara State. The people say, when they came out, say, it's not going to happen, not under our watch. And I don't know if we were on this platform. I'm not saying that played a part, but I want to believe maybe played 1% part. I after that election, I think we were on this platform. Not I think I know. We were on this platform, and Professor Chidodin Kanu won the government and won the judiciary. Sorry, guys. It looked like we're going to end. Very unprofessional. Thank God it's not record. I apologize. So, Professor Chidodin Kanu won the.
Uh, not really. Here's the question, right? For instance, now using the Kano example, right? So you saw how the people fought for their mandate in Kano and put fear, in APC in order not to, for especially the judges and everything, and so they were able to secure their mandate big time, right? And what if after all that the people have done to secure their mandate, okay, now they have their mandate, they have the governor in power. If that governor decides tomorrow that he's decamping to the same APC that the people never wanted in the first place, what would the people do? They are helpless. The constitution backs it, backs what the governor would do by then, right? So that's my question. Where are we headed with this kind of craziness? Allowing this kind of thing in our constitution, where people just wake up one morning and say, I've decamped to another party, and then you just head with the people's mandate, and the people are helpless. You understand?
Okay. I think I got the question. All right. So there's actually a Supreme Court ruling on that. The only problem here is the governors that move will always find a lawyer that would, prove that there's a problem in their political party. Hence, they decided to leave. In the case of the PDP, if you take, let's say, the governor of Enugu State, who by tomorrow will start wearing all your mandates hats by tomorrow to court, and he would tell you there's a problem in the PDP, and rightly so. Because in PDP, there are three factions, right? There are Inyeson Wike faction and other factions. So the secretary is somewhere, the district is somewhere. So the governor will now prove to the court, if you take him to court, right? Listen, there's a problem here, I have to go. All right? Same with Labour Party, okay? But if you have a place where there's no problem, then they can be able to say, give us back our votes, like Wike told Omahi when Dave Umahi joined APC from PDP. Wike said he can't join. He has to give them back their vote. But the rest they will say is history. So there's a ruling on that. The problem here is, what the judiciary is. Hence, I still believe to strengthen our democracy, one of the most important things is there has to be a judicial reform. Electoral reform, I don't know if we have enough time, but you see, judicial reform, the judiciary need to tell Nigerians what is A or is AB, right? What is it? That is one thing I'm hoping, and it's I'm putting it together with the 2%. 2% I said the opposition have. They need to focus on judicial reform, because even if you're to win that election, nothing says that you go to the Supreme Court will not say no, you didn't win, like what happened in Imo State. So the 2% they have, they must lead. They must show that they are willing to lead. Judicial reform, judicial reform, judicial reform. That would be my answer to that, Mr. Will.
Yeah, that's I'll take that. That's awesome right there. I think you eventually answered my question. Judicial reform, period.
All right,
You.
so we have take care, please. You're still with us now. Let's others speak if that's okay, please. Okay, let's go to, I think is it Ariwa, is it Ariwa or Joseph? Who do we pass the mic to?
Ariwa's source is who you said bring in, and he's the one who's been trying to come in, and then finally he's here. So I think it's Ariwa's source, and then Joseph. If you're not going by the hands,
let's hear from Ariwa, then we'll come back to Joseph, then go to Vasino.
I was there before all of them.
Sorry, who might that be, sir? I'm not sure. Who is that?
Core belief. I was there before all of them.
Oh, okay. All right, sir. Sorry, I apologize. Ariwa, please do wait for a minute. Core belief. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mindset. I'm not going to take too much time. Thank you for that. I greet Captain and everybody on the space, and thank you for the work you are doing for the country as well, giving us the platform to speak. For me, our politics is devoid of ideology. So, and that is one thing that we are still struggling with at the minute. And when you have that, and the second thing is that the power doesn't belong to the people. It does belong to people. People don't know that. So, and that's why the gentleman that spoke earlier on, before me, said, people will vote for governors and then they will just go on the camp. Yeah, because the power does not belong to the people, in quotes. And that's why you will see people dance around. You see people like Wike, they remain in PDP, but they are able to beat their chest and tell, they don't have the power on their own, but because the power is not with the Nigerian people, it's not with the masses, it's not with the electorate, they believe they can do and undo. So they will tell you they're still in PDP, but I'm a minister under APC. I'm going to sell all the votes in Rivers State to them. So they are so very confident that is very possible for them to do, and they are getting away with it. They are getting away with it. So they cross carpet anytime they want. You see them moving from one party to the other. So without any consequence, like you said, the judicial reform might be a good idea. But under this government, you are not going to get that. There won't be any electoral reform. Nothing would happen, because this is the first time Nigeria will have a politician. It's not a retired military that started coming to politics. No, that's what he does for a living. And he's fired a warning shot when he took out Fubara. Yeah, he's fired a warning shot. And when you have governors who are there not for the people, it's not for their people. So who are there? They will be scared. They will be, they want to keep their job, don't they? By all means. And that's the problem here. Countries like UK, you will see the people speaking, and you will see all the parties talking in that line. They change their policy because people are protesting, not just protesting, but people are saying, for example, in the UK, the talking point is immigration. Labour, they are in power right now. They know that they're not going to win the next election if they don't address that. So you see politicians changing people, changing policies, revisiting what they've done because they know the power belongs to the people. And when you go bring their polls out and say, listen, Labour, you're not going to win the next election, they know that. They need to, straight away, you see them, but that doesn't happen in Nigeria because they know they can actually, they can switch up the IRF, technicalities will come on in the court of law, and you see them, they do it, they actually rub it on our faces. They will do that because the power is not in the people's, it should be, but it's not at the minute. And that's why they get away with all these things. So this guy there, I can't see any opposition, really. It doesn't exist. Because like you said, the mindset, they will wear the heart on your mandate. In this National Assembly, they are singing on your mandate. Is that not a sign for us, guys? Are we here to joke? Thank you very much, mindset. Thank you for the time given me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, God Believe. All right, so it's very, very interesting. One of the things I like about hosting space is that people air their views, whether people like it or not, and we must be able to find a way to accommodate everybody, right? But I will continue to ring it out. This place is not a place that things you want to hear. There are other better spaces out there that you want to join and listen to people saying to you what you want to hear. I'm not that person to tell you what you want to hear. So my views might make you upset tonight, and it will make you feel uncomfortable. Those are my views, and you have your own views. I want us to be very, very clear with that. Okay, tomorrow I might come up and defend your candidate if I see that they're doing something good. That's my said view. I might say something about him. That's my own view. All right. Let's continue. Ari, while you have the mic, sir.
Good evening, Mindset, and good evening to everyone on the platform. I've been listening for quite a while, and I've been requesting the mic for quite a while as well. I think you said you were not seeing me, so I guess it was the network. And the conversation has been very interesting, but the truth is, let me just put it this way. I think I overheard so many speakers, and to be honest, I think we're even giving Tinubu much credit than he deserves. And the honest truth is simple. Mindset. 2027 election will be different. And I am saying this for a fact. It will be different. Now, all these governors that are decamping to APC, no one of them is decamping to APC for Tinubu's re-election in 2027. They are decamping to APC for their own re-election bid in 2027. Because I can throw this to the house that everybody that is currently in Nigeria, in a state in Nigeria, should look at the momentum and ask himself, if this governor told us to vote Tinubu, are the people in this state going to vote Tinubu? And you have your answer there and then. The truth is, there is so much money in circulation that Tinubu have managed to amass from the subsidy removal and what have you. I don't really know all the tax things he's been doing. Have you looked at the last revenue distribution? It's crazy. States are seeing money they have never seen. And these people's mode of operation has always been resources. This is how Nigerian politicians operate. It's just resources. They need money. That is just how they've kept their people intact. They've kept their stronghold intact. It's just money. And they are scared that a federal backing of a candidate in your state with that much resources in his hand threatens their own re-election. And they are right to think so. Because any APC candidate emerging in your state with the current money in circulation in Tinubu's administration is going to be a problem to you, being you an incumbent or not. So what do? Okay, let's just join this party so that they will get their hands off us and we can get our own re-election and do what we can for his own election. But the truth is, Mindset, I can tell you for a fact that from my own experience and from the majority of states I've been recently, there is no single state governor that will come and look at his populace and tell them to vote Tinubu or just Just do what they normally do. You know, when you have a state governor, you have the state. It's not going to happen in 2027. It's definitely not going to happen. The main problem, why you see, this is the time for the politicians to speak. Because there's no election, there is nothing. We're done with elections. So the politicians are the one doing what they feel is best for them. The only time that we, the electors, can speak is when the election cycle is around the corner. What are we going to do now? We can't do anything. Are you going out to protest? Are you going out to jack a governor because he's decamping? Are you going out to hold Tinubu by his babariga and say, come back here? You can't do anything. So everything that is happening is time for the politicians to speak. But when it is 2027 and it is time for the election, the electorates will have a way of reciprocating whatever it is that you as a politician have done along the way. So at the end of the day, the incompetence of this government cannot be swept under the carpet. This 2027 cannot be business. It will not be business as usual. That is one thing I am certain. There is no governor that is going to promise you a Tinubu that is going to deliver his state for you. Not even we here if you take him back as Rivers State governor. It's not going to happen because people are conscious now. It is everywhere. You know, before you speak English and a lot of people don't get you what you're saying or something like that. Now everybody is feeling it in his bone and in his skin. It's right there in front of you. Even the last person that is concerned with government policy is affected. But what can we do now? We cannot do anything for now. So it's the politicians doing their thing, doing their permutations. Everybody is trying to save himself. That is one thing with the politician. That is one aspect of politicians I really appreciate. Their self-centeredness. They are so much keen about their selfish interests that they can do anything for it. So none of these governors is defecting for Tinubu. Absolutely no one of them is defecting for Tinubu. They are defecting for themselves, for their own re-election bid. But at the end of the day, they are going to do their part for him. Well, some of them will keep their own part of the bargain. Some of them will not. We've seen it with Jonathan. It happened. The most important thing is that I know for sure that 2027 will not be business as usual. And no state governor, no amount of state governors that Tinubu will have under his wing. Yes, like you rightly said, mindset, that there's no pathway yet because we don't even have an opponent yet. Now we just have wannabe opponents, like a whole bunch of them, you know. So you can't actually ascertain. There is a whole lot of people from different angles that are contesting, coming up against Tinubu, and they all have their strongholds. But once we are left with one or two individuals who are the options, we will definitely pick unanimously at the end of the day. Everybody who is against APC will definitely pitch tent with that person. Even if they will not, I think it's choosing between Tinubu and whoever that person is. So there's a whole lot of time, and I think we are giving Tinubu too much credit for what he's doing. But these governors are self-centered. They are basically doing what is best for their interests, and electorates cannot do anything. That's why everywhere is just the way it is, because the politicians are the ones doing their thing. When it's time for election, when it's 2027, time to vote, then I think it will be a different ball game entirely. Mindset. Thank you. I yield.
All right, thank you very much, Arewa. So let me play this scenario now. Let's say the election is tomorrow. It's not going to be tomorrow anyway. Let's say the election is tomorrow. Can you tell me any state you think Bola Tinubu? I mean, go to the southeast. Choose any state you think Bola Tinubu will not win. Can you tell me? Give me 4 states or 5, 6 states you think Bola Tinubu will not win.
Actually, I can't give you any state that Bola Tinubu will not win, myself, because I don't know who his opponent is. I think that's one aspect we are really not looking into for now, because on a national scale, we saw what Peter Obi could do in 2023. We saw what Atiku have been doing. So until that time where he's pitched against a tangible candidate, I actually can't tell you for sure. For now, it's business as usual. He's the president. Even to save face or people just to appear, to please him, or tell him you win. But when there is a candidate, when the time is right, and everything have fallen in line, it's going to be different entirely.
All right, so we're going to revisit this space. Well, hopefully, when ADC decide who their candidate will be, PDP and everything, we're going to revisit these spaces. Then I would like you to tell us the state you think Bola Tinubu will not win. I mean, looking at those persons, the candidates who most likely will get the ticket in their party, only if there's going to be somebody else that I don't know anything about or have not entered. It's not part of the person's, trying to remove Bola Tinubu. But every one of them, this is my view. If you put them there, every one of them, I'm not sure who's going to be their vice. They don't, I don't see any pathway for them. But let's revisit this again some other time. Thank you. Teke, your hand is still up. I know you want to speak. Can we allow Comrade, or you want to speak quickly? Then I pass the mic to Comrade.
Yeah, comrade, please don't be offended. But before I forget what I want to say, maybe you can respond to comrade and my question. My question is quite simple, and it ties into what Ariwasos said, and your scenario. You said the one scenario you advise the opposition that will emerge against Tinubu is that they should pick somebody that people can rally around for the elections. That's how I interpreted what you said. Who within this group of people that are currently in this political space right now do you think will agree to pick somebody that people can rally around with? And it's in line with what IY is saying, that politicians are just so self-centered, it's predictable. So who in this group that you think they will just achieve their own ambition and bring somebody that we will rally around? I look at the crop of people and I don't see anybody. So you can just respond to when after the next speaker, you can respond to that. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Let me quickly hear from Comrade. Then I might come back and respond to your question. But I want you to be here when I'm responding to that question. Comrade, you have the mic. Good evening, sir.
Evening, mindset. How are you doing? I don't know if I'm audible.
You're audible. I'm here. You guys have turned the little conversation into a space. So I'm here. Good evening.
Yeah, like I keep saying, sorry. You don't know where the tide might go, where the wave might take you to, and a little conversation can become a topic and become a national discourse. It is because people are really, really disappointed. We are really, really tired with whatever that is happening. And I keep saying I've written a document last 3 weeks, and where I predicted that 2 governors out of my party, the PDP, are going to decamp to APC. And who are the governors in mind? Look, I wasn't even thinking of Peter Amba, and neither was I thinking of the next governor that I had already. The 2 governors I even initially knew that were going to decamp are not even these 2. So looking at what is happening, I will say, number one, after I will come back to blame our governors and the party. But fully, one cannot blame Bola Tinubu for this. I mean, we've caused it ourselves. We must take responsibility for the actions of these governors, because nevertheless, the PDP has become a cloth where any Tom, Dick, and Harry can just wear, vie for political office, win, and then does as he wish. In 2023, after the elections, what we expected was at least there should be a committee to supervise what happened in the 2023 elections, even if it's just for the media. Let it not even be a true committee. Let it just be for Fugizi, so that members will feel at least that the leaders have total control over the party. This is not the party that was during Obasanjo. This was not the party even during Jonathan. I mean, what is happening? Here you have sitting governors. I mean, if I am a party leader or a PDP a party leader and I lose 2 sitting governors, it's enough for me to resign. It's not the matter of these governors, we are going to win 2027 nevertheless. No, it's a matter of there is a break in cardinal principles, ideologies of the party. And let me tell you, I know if you can go into the hearts of 70 to 80% of the members of PDP, they know they are not going to win this election. It's my party. They know they are going nowhere. You have members of the party galvanizing for Tinubu. I mean, When you look at people, leaders of the party, portraying themselves as saints overnight after what they've done in 2023, it makes you wonder. And now back to the governors. Look, Amechi said one thing. He said, under Jonathan, I don't know, it maybe Jonathan was because he's a gentleman or stuff like that. But under Jonathan, you have, or under Obasanjo, you have governors with ideology. Governors who could look in the president's eye and tell him, we are not going to do this. This is not happening. It was that time we even knew that we had governors forum. But what is happening today is very, very alarming. Sometimes I wonder if our governors even think politics is a bit of loyalty test or a circus. One by one, look at them crawling under the banner of APC, not because they believe in the ideologies of Tinubu or that of APC, no, but because they are people's life. They feel that they will just want to have a second tenure that is smooth. And irrespective of the ideology, they have now become shadows in their whiskers. And it makes you wonder what is happening. Because all of them want to kneel before Tinubu and kiss the ring. Let's be honest, this mass decamping you see isn't politics. It is panic. Democracy is in panic in Nigeria. These are not leaders anymore. They are survivors, just plotting at the feel of power. They mocked others for doing the same under Jonathan and Buhari. Yet they are repeating the same foolish dance around the same fire. And it makes you wonder, when a governor leaves his party just to please one man in Abuja, it's no longer democracy. It is idolatry in a sense. So to me, I feel in as much as PDP and the opposition give them the room to do that, they don't have conscience at all. They lack ideology, they lack principle. It is just a normal Nigerian syndrome of dog eat dog and dog behave like dog. Simple.
All right, thank you, comrade. Just to put it out there, so when you hear it, so you wouldn't get more upset than you are right now. There are 4 others who are going to join soon. So the train have left Enugu State. It's making its way towards the northeast. It might turn back to north central before it goes to south. So you're just going to follow it that way. You can make sense out of it. Okay. And the thing is, not, yeah, you're not. I mean, you're not. You're not. You're not part of those individuals. There are some of your PDP members who dislike my person because they felt that I'm being unfair to you guys. I remember one, for some reason they choose not to be here, but well, that's fine. I told you guys, the PDP, that there is absolutely no one this God living earth that Ude Okoye will be the secretary of the PDP. You guys called me names, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Ude Okoye, is he the secretary? He went there, he fought and everything. They would have nearly break his head. I said break his head. But names were called. I told you guys your governors will move. Names were called. Just be prepared. PDP as a political party, as I said in 2024, is dead. There's nothing left there. So I'm not sure if this will make you feel uncomfortable, but if there's any other place you want to pitch your tents, you might start packing your bag, because there's nothing left in that political party. Absolutely nothing left. Everything that the damage was done in 2023. And it's good. I'm not sure if people will resurrect it, how it's going to, but as a political party, so I don't want you to have a heart attack when you hear somebody else is moving. Right? Please, I don't want you to have a heart attack, because people will move. This is just the beginning. There are people that will move. Even if they choose not to move, I can tell you for a fact, the governor of Plateau State is 99.9 APC. The only thing he's waiting for is just PDP by name. That's the only thing. You can disagree with me. I might be forced to make a tweet so I can make reference to it. But as I know that I know nothing about politics, but this is, I just, because of who you are, I just want you to know, and I know the passion and how much you love your political party. People are going to leave that political party. That is the reality. So let me pass the mic to Joseph before I answer Teke's question. Mr. Joseph, you've been here for a while. You have the mic, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mindset, and everybody here. To me, I don't see Tinubu as somebody that you know is or cannot be defeated really, because if you look at Tinubu's antecedent, it is not hidden. Tinubu is a master politician, master strategist, but in what way? He does not follow the rules, okay, as in doing something legally. I will remind us about how he lost Lagos. Tinubu was, running in the presidential election of 2023, and he was beaten. And then the next thing, he deployed his other options. He always has options: intimidations, bullying, using what people see as National Union of Road Transport Workers. I see them as Tinubu's political thugs. They began to give ultimatum. Okay, after seeing that Tinubu lost the presidential election in Lagos State, and threatened opposition and carried out their threats. Nothing happened. That was how they succeeded in rigging the governorship election, putting their man in there. Then you look at somebody spoke earlier and said Tinubu fired his first shots in Rivers State. No, he has been firing shots. Okay, his first shot to me was when he forcefully brought back Obasa, the Lagos State Speaker. Okay, if Tinubu was popular the way people think about it, Obasa wouldn't have been impeached by his own member of National House of Assembly of Lagos State. Okay, Tinubu, having become the president of Nigeria and his commander-in-chief, deployed everything within his powers to forcefully bring back Obasa against the wishes of the national of the Lagos State Assembly members. Is that what you see as strategy, or somebody who cannot be defeated in his own Lagos State that they claim he built? They had to use these powers to bring back his teeth illegally. All right? And then you talk about River State. So to me, Nigerians are in tandem with the cause of the moment. And they know that amongst all the politicians aspiring to lead Nigeria, Peter Obi stands out. I will continue to say it. I'm not ashamed of saying it, because you cannot bring anything, to rope him in, to make him look bad. Peter Obi is a clean politician. Yes, what Tinubu is doing now is about forcing oppositions or bullying them or wooing them, if you like, to join him. And I wonder why, or whether he thinks or believes that, having the passive governors in his party will guarantee his 2027 re-election. I wonder why he would think so. Anyway, it will be an advantage if he have them. But the thing is, those governors are not feeling the hardship of the moment. The poor masses do. Okay, and I believe that the youths that actually support P2B and other politicians know better now. You cannot buy the youth with 5,000. They are not even. They don't even have price tags. All right. So in 2027, I am confident that outside rigging and violence, Tinubu should easily be beaten. He will be beaten, I mean, easily. I'm not talking about, I mentioned two things. I said outside rigging and violence. Okay. Yes. Is it about getting governors to your side? And somebody a week today he tweeted that no judge will live in a rented apartment in 2027. What does that tell you? Tinubu's daughter went to those states. I mean, it is all about control. They want to hijack everything. The daughter is the first daughter of the federation. Other presidents that have been there before him probably didn't have daughters and sons. Okay, so this man, okay, yeah, he is a politician. He's going to be difficult to be defeated in 2027. But in what way do you look at him? Is it that he's ruling well? No, he is adopting and will deploy every illegal means to remain in power. And a lot of people are joining him. Yeah, the PDP governor of Enugu State, I'm from Enugu State, will join him tomorrow, according to the news. I'm not even thinking about, because that one is just doing his first term. He does not have what it takes to tell over 2 million voters of Enugu State to vote. Those who are suffering, struggling to put 2 square meal, not 3, 2 square meal on the table. Okay, so I think that 2027 is all about intentional belief about of the electorate. PO, for instance, yes, a lot of people look at him as a weak candidate. In what way is he weak? Is he supposed to come and start doing things illegally? Like Tinubu, who has control of the security agency and everything. How do you expect PO, to show that he is serious about 2027? And some people think actually that if he's popular, let him go and win Anambra. No.
I'm gonna come in now because of time, because it's 9 o'clock, right? I want to. I'm gonna ask.
Give me 1 minute to round up. Just 1 minute. Or let me 30 seconds. That Anambra stuff a lot of people are using to that measure his popularity shouldn't come to play, because no P2B's love of the people cannot be transferred to anybody. In 2027, majority of Nigeria know the candidate that is, that they trust, that is passionate about integrity and that can deliver. I believe that, 2027, Tinubu, if he can, I don't want to talk about electoral reform and all, because he will not go there.
Sorry, we still have Mr. Joseph here.
Because even the president of Mercy Assembly came in as a senior president without even participating in the election. So if, outside rigging anyway, which is impossible, and violence, Tinubu should be gone, because everybody is feeling the impact of his, misrule. Let me yield so that you can pass the mic.
All right, thank you very much. I was going to tell you, your line is not clear, but it's okay. I was able to catch some of the things that you said. Thank you for your submission. Now, you said Peter Obi would win Bola Tinubu. That is your opinion, and I'm not going to argue with you if that's what you believe. So I wanted to ask you a question. Please, let's be very mindful of time. Which state or which region or which state do you think that Peter Obi is the strongest base for Peter Obi? Which state? If you can give me that state, 1 or 2, you can read out 4 or 5 if that's okay. But let's be very mindful of time.
I said, am I to respond? Are you asking me?
Yes, sir. That question is for you, sir.
Okay. No, the thing is, it's not even about the states. That is the
No,
problem.
no. If you're not gonna, if you're not gonna give me the state, tell me you're not gonna give me the state. I ask a simple
Okay,
question. It's either you say,
tell you. Okay, let me even generalize. Everybody in Nigeria are.
sorry, sir, your mic is muted. I'm not sure. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
sorry.
you. Are you able to tell us the state?
You can hear me now?
Yes,
Hello?
I can hear you. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I'm saying that in terms of states, Southeast will not go to Tinubu. Even if he likes, let him take all the governors and the senators and House of Reps, House of Assemblies. South, I mean, is it North Central? Okay, and even in the North, because the problem we have is that our brain in this democracy is all about they are using religion.
I'm not asking you. You're going to a different. Sorry, sir. Sorry, we gotta have this conversation. All I ask you, give me the state. Don't tell me what the problem
I don't
is.
want to
If you think,
I just mentioned South East, South.
All right. Okay. Let's leave it. Let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that then.
Okay.
Okay. If you want to talk about North Central, listen.
Yes.
There's a way things work, right? If you ask me which state do I think somebody will win, I will give you the state. You don't give me the problem is this, whether there's a problem or no problem. Which state do you think the man you said that will win the election will win? Give us the state if you have any. If not, I will move on and I will respond.
Okay, let me be specific anyway. South East, South. Okay, and then you come to the Southwest. Lagos State is in the back. There's no doubt about it. And then FCT, Abuja, forget about what Wike is doing. He believes he can rig, but apart from rigging, you know, the way PO defeated Buhari as a sitting president, he will still defeat the team. And then you go to North Central, play to Benue, he will win. Okay, I'm talking about winning in landslide. And then he go to the North. He has inroads in the North. I am believing that he's going to get at least 30% in all this, average in the North. He is going to win. If we remove ethnicity, people will look at.
No, don't stop. You see, the thing is this: you answer your question, you're giving us the reason behind it. I'm not asking you if there's going to be, whether you're going to buy umbrella or you're not going to buy umbrella. Is it going to rain? Yes or no? No. Stop telling me ethnicity.
He will. Without a rigging, anyway. Without rigging, I'll continue to say that. He will.
All right, fine. Okay, fine. Now you know. The thing here, I'm just gonna bust your bubble. This might make you feel uncomfortable. You mentioned that Peter Obi is not gonna win Lagos. Whether you want to say he's gonna be rigged or not, he's not gonna win Lagos. Let me even make it a little bit interesting for you. If there's an election tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, I don't know what would happen in the next 24 or 78 hours or whatever, next month. Peter Obi will not win Ebonyi State. You will disagree with me. I'm just telling you in the Southeast right now. That's my reality, but I'm not going to say that you're lying and everything. I'm giving you two states. If there's an election tomorrow, Peter Obi will not win Ebonyi State. Peter Obi will not win Lagos State. I mean, you're talking about North Central. The thing here is a lot of people think that what happened in 2023 will repeat itself. You guys cannot see the handwriting on the wall. You have not seen you don't see the calculation of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That is why a lot of people, I think, because we thought with this mindset, I think that's why a lot of people are very comfortable. Peter Obi will not win Lagos State. He's not going to win Lagos State. But you can believe he will win, whether without rigging or no rigging. He's not going to win Lagos State.
The rule is that I should not interject without taking permission. Why do you think the National Union of Road Transport Workers have given opposition ultimatum? They did that last week. Why do you think so? If they are confident that they can win and nobody can win Tinubu?
Why are you asking me a question? Why do I think they are doing that? I'm telling you that I'm not. See, my own response is I'm not putting to any condition. You're putting yours with condition. I'm going with data. I'm not going with condition whether there's no network and this thing. I'm not interested in whether there's ethnicity. I'm going with my data in front of me here. Peter will be, whether you want to believe it or not, he's not going to defeat Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Lagos State. He's not going to do that. You can disagree with me. That's all well and good.
All right. Let me agree with you for now. 2027 is not far from now.
All right, that's fine. I don't like to. Okay. Who else do we have? Teki, can I respond to your question? Because people like to believe. I was asking that question. I wanted to see the number, the state he will mention. How many people in that state have registered with INEC? How many people in those states have registered? Look at the numbers in Osun State. Look at the numbers in Lagos State. Look at the numbers in Ogun State. Look at the numbers in Obono State, right? And you want to win these states. The states you say you want to win, people are not registering. So they know exactly how many people that have registered. So what they are doing, guys, I don't want to be giving free advice here, please. I don't want to argue with people. Somebody saying Peter Obi will win Ebony State. Okay, that's fine. I don't want to argue with you people. Sorry, somebody says a wrong approach asking for status of 2020. Did you predict PO will win Lagos State? Okay, the thing is, I predicted that Peter Obi will win some states. I didn't predict he will win Lagos State. But I'm telling you right now, he will not win Lagos State. Okay? You're not in 2023. You can disagree with me. That's okay. I am not here to make you feel comfortable. If you think you are going to say things that you want to hear, based on my data here, he will not win Lagos State. If there's an election tomorrow against Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he will not win Lagos State. That's what I said. If he wins Lagos State, then you can come back here and we have the conversation again. All right?
Okay, so sorry, let me
please, why you do this? Why you can't continue to break the rules? You can't do it.
Okay,
you can't continue to do that, sir. Sorry, let me pass the mic to some other person, please. Abnas, please go ahead.
Oh, okay, thank you very much, Mindset, for the opportunity. So, Mindset, in regards to the issue, because I have been observing lately with the ongoing registration of voters card, I realized that the people from southeastern part of the country are really in a slumber. They are in a slumber mode, because when I look at the number of people that have registered the ongoing voters registration from Abia State, it is a little bit more than 6,000. But when you look at the numbers from Borno, when you look at the numbers from some of these southwest states, it is clearly that people are willing to go out irrespective of their schedule. They are willing to go out and register. And some of them are, whether you like it or not, at least 30% of those that went out to go and register, they do it with a passion to go and vote in the coming election 2027. But you cannot continue to complain, because they are still going to use, even irrespective of whether you are going to support Bola Ahmed Tinubu or not, the numbers are not lying. That the majority of those that are going out to register as a new voters are from those particular stronghold that Aswaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu believes that are in his basket. I am not saying that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to win election, but they are a little bit, sluggish when it comes to registering this voters card. And it is high time to wake up to reality. I believe that what Mindset is saying, to some extent, I'm not in total support of what you are saying, that whether you are just making a declaration that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will win Lagos State. No, I don't believe that. I believe that something can change. We are in a democratic system. I believe with a right formation, Peter Obi, he did it before, and with the right candidate as a governor or gubernatorial candidate in Lagos State, that will mobilize, and I believe Bodero Bibo, I don't know whether he is in ADC right now, but if he is not, if he became the flag bearer under ADC, and he did the grassroots campaign he did the last time, or at least double it, because the Aswajus come also understand there are lapses in the last election. So they are going to amend some of their mistakes that caused them the Lagos State. I'm very much sure about that. But in regards to making a declaration that this person will win a particular state, I'm not in good terms with that, because I believe anything can happen and a change can come at any moment. So, and when it comes to who is going to beat Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that is a $1 million question, because you see, by mindset, as someone said, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has all the resources as his abundance, and most of these candidates that we are pursuing, they are not even going to be willing to spend as much as he can, because all he is after is to retain the seat, and some of them are not even sure whether they are going to clinch that seat. So I don't think if they are willing to spend that much. And in Nigeria, the democracy we are practicing is unlike the American democracy, where you will have big corporates, the likes of the big farmers, the pharmacies, all the companies that will come and contribute, all the likes of IPAC that will come and contribute millions of dollars in order for you to clinch, with a string attached, of course, because even in America, as a politician, they do that. You will have corporates that will come and sponsor your campaign, and in return they are looking forward for you to do something to them in return. So most of them is just because of tax cut and all that. So mindset, the only place where I don't agree with you is coming with a conclusion that a particular state will go to a particular person, because with the way we have seen the last election, I believe things can change even within 2 months to election, but we have almost 1.5 years to the election, so anything can happen. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I don't have much to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Abnas. Now, my prediction is my prediction. You don't have to like it. If there is an election tomorrow, I've told you where I believe this thing would happen. The first encounter I had with Whitebird is not here, right? It was 2020. It was 2022, right? Now I used to do prediction, and I did say that Peter B will win Rivers State. Obviously, he won Rivers State, and he was rigged anyway, so we know that he won Rivers State. I predicted that APC will win Oyo State, and I predicted that PDP will win Katsina State. I mean, he made fun of me because he felt that the numbers that were coming in Katsina State, I mean, if he's here, he would confirm that was 2023 election. I remember him put a tweet, he tagged me that I don't know what I predicted. At the end of the day, right, who won Katsina State? Because he believed with the help of the State, I said that it's not going to happen. PDP will win Katsina State, in as much as APC rigged the election. Now, before you run agenda, not you, Mr. Abnaz, right? Just hear me out. I say, if there is an election tomorrow, okay? So I want us to understand that. Now, I've always said this, and I will continue to say it. The opposition have only 2% to change the narrative. So if not tomorrow anyway, if by next, if in the next 3 hours they're able to do that, the prediction will change. But as it stands right now, we are having this conversation, and we are getting ready for election tomorrow, right? There is absolutely no way you're going to tell me that tomorrow election, Peter will win this guy. It is practically impossible. You don't have any, it just doesn't, sometimes we want to hear what we want to hear. Maybe if there's an election, 3 hours time, they're able to do something, but they are not ready. They don't have what it takes. Most of the gains they made, they got in 2023, it's not longer there. And somebody, let me read this out, because we're going to visit this thing. We're going to revisit this thing, right? All right, Jeff, please. There's a way things work. So what are you guys even discussing here? Who would ever in his right mind say that Tinubu APC will win election in a free and fair election? I said, just say if a rigging election is scheduled tomorrow, APC will rig their way out. Please stop pushing this narrative. Okay, Jeff, you don't have to be here, right? If you're not comfortable with the conversation, please, you can kindly, respectfully go somewhere else and listen to whatever you want to listen to. All right? It's not a narrative, it's my own opinion. If you're comfortable with it, you can leave and go somewhere where they can tell you what you want to. I'm not going to use the word rigged election. If that's going to make you uncomfortable, you have to respectfully leave this platform, okay? I'm not going to use the word rigged election. If there is an election tomorrow, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will win, whether you want to call it rigged or not. If you want to call it narrative or whatever it is, it makes you uncomfortable, this platform might not be for you. This is not a place that tell you what you want to hear. I'm speaking my own view. All right. So let me quickly read out. the nature say you are very funny mindset. How will Tinubu win Ogboni State? Okay, let's see what plays out. This is the thing, I say these things, you guys feel uncomfortable because you think I'm going to stay here and put you on a pedestal and praise you and all this. It's not going to happen. If there is an election tomorrow being Tuesday, Bola Tinubu will flog them. It's my reality. If you don't want to believe it, that's up to you. You're going to ask yourself a question: how many people from this region have registered? Look at the numbers. If you go with the numbers of 2023 and go with the numbers of what Bola Tinubu have registered, people have registered in the places he needs to win to become the president. You can see the numbers of people being registered, and you think it's going to, become because you like somebody's popularity. You can have the popularity if you don't have the strategy. If you have not done your homework, you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. All right. Let me quickly pass the mic to Yohanan. Is it Yohanan? Mr. Nuhu, you have the mic.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. Mindset and all. I'm sincerely sorry. I've not been much active here, so you. Sometimes I'll just come high and then have other engagement. So I followed, though not from the beginning, but to some extent when the conversation got intense, I think I've been following. So one thing I like doing is I'm actually very, very practical that especially towards 2027 that the opposition chances is getting slimmer. But then one of the reasons I feel it's getting slimmer is because there is no unity in the opposition, because the numbers are very clear that Tinubu doesn't have numbers among voters, but he appears to have captured the institutions. So whereas I am very sure that it's very possible to defeat Tinubu. In fact, I don't see that as something difficult. But then our mindset, maybe your name, our mindset, the way we reason, we see politics is not the same. For instance, somebody is making his prediction or projection about the Ebonyi State. But then we talk about Adamawa or Jigawa, where he doesn't have any information, doesn't have any knowledge of how things work. He will still use the Ebonyi, scenario and apply it to Kano and Jigawa or Adamawa State. That's one of the problems we are facing as opposition. So what we lack in the opposition is our ability to unite. Tinubu can be easily defeated. I am not a type that maybe sees what Tinubu is doing as a total work of state capture that cannot be confronted. I believe he's doing something that is terrible, something that may require. But anytime I go around, I know that he doesn't have the numbers. But he has the capacity to manipulate. He has the capacity to ensure disunity among the opposition camp. So what I want to say at the end is, me personally, I hold the view that if we put ourselves in order, Tinubu is a goner. He doesn't have the chance. But then that will require a total coming together of the opposition. And one point I will not want to forget is, you see, we cannot. I am not a type that is weak in thinking. Maybe like somebody died. David was lamenting about Abner. He said Abner died with his sword by his side. So I'm not a type that believe it's an impossible task. I believe we have faced life. Maybe before, as you journey through life after 30 something, 40, you must have confronted things that looked impossible. So if at this point I'm still a type that sees impossibility as as things that cannot be faced, or I treat impossibility like everything that looks, glaring as impossible. And that's foolishness. So I believe I have this kind of mindset that I can face this thing and overcome. So I am not a type that sees Tinubu as an almighty, personality. I believe we have a capacity if we unite to defeat this man. So especially that we don't have option. I don't have any option. I cannot support him. So I have the option to face him. But actually, in facing him, I know when I'm facing him with the chances of defeating him and not. But the chances I have now is unity. If we can unite, then I know we have a chance of defeating him. So in my own analysis, like previous speakers have spoken, 2027 is still a little far. For instance, there was nobody factored Peter Obi in 2023, but suddenly the man was able to do magic, and we saw what happened. So what we expect towards 2027 is narrative. Is it for instance, if you come to the north, I don't even know what you would tell northerners. Maybe in the far north, what you would tell them as a reason why they will vote in him. You don't have any reason. Is it the clerics, the Islamic clerics? What will you tell them? What excuse do you have to give those people to now go and market him? And that's where the votes are. All these politicians are deceiving him. I don't even know if the man is relying on politicians, governors. The man is getting it wrong. It doesn't work that way. And 2023 showed that it's not possible. You cannot rely on governors. Buhari was sitting there as president. He was defeated in his own state. Tinubu was defeated in his own state. Abdul was defeated in Nasarawa. So I don't even know which among who among them delivered his state. So we are not going to rely on governors and be threatened that we don't have a chance. The only reason I will be very, very much disappointed in 2027 is if the opposition are not able to unite. So, but with unity, I believe that we have, in fact, I can easily go and sleep that Tinubu is defeated already. Thank you, mindset.
Sorry, guys, I have to move to a different room. My kids want to go to bed, so let me just bear with me. Okay, thank you very much, Nuhu. Bola Tinubu's pathway is different. And I think a lot of people listening to Spaces because they have a different mindset. I'm not stopping anybody to say your candidate will win. One thing I will not condone is when you believe is a narrative, this person is trying to push agenda. I don't work for you, right? You can say Peter Obi can win and everything. That's okay. It's not a problem. But just to be on the, you can say Peter Obi will win this state, and I will tell you he will not win this state. You can say Tinubu will win this state. I can say, that's fine. But just making it look like somebody's trying to put a narrative in your mind and all those things, is a narrative, and we should stop pushing this narrative. Is this my reality? If you cannot see the handwriting on the wall, I cannot help you. So if you want to believe that Peter Obi will win Bola Tinubu, that's fine. I'm saying in so and so state, he will not win. That's my own reality. I don't stop you by making your own prediction. But one thing I will not condemn is just, they're pushing a narrative. We should stop pushing this narrative like you're speaking to your child, or right? Now let me make it very clear. Sorry, somebody
Mindset.
who's
something.
No, what is it? What is it regarding, sir?
All right. You see, this I believe that we can make our submission and still, admit that it is our personal opinion. We cannot, if we, especially like I said, somebody should not just die with his sword by his side. An officer, an army is expected to face his enemy. So is it demoralized? I don't even know. So sometimes the reason why maybe some of us will feel like there is a narrative or something is because somebody doesn't have option. And the only thing we are telling him is that he will lose, he will not win. So to me, it's a kind of
all right, sorry, I'm gonna come in here. So maybe this platform might not be for that person, right? Because this is not a place that I will tell you what you want to hear. I'm not gonna lie to myself. So if you think the platform is demoralizing, you can join other platforms where they can tell you that you can turn water into wine. As I've always said, I'm not interested in numbers. I don't have any topic. That's no topic. I just open a space and interact with people. So demoralizing, if the platform is demoralizing for you or anybody, please respectfully go somewhere else to listen to where they can tell you, you can turn water into wine. Bola Ahmed Tinubu's pathway has nothing to do with the North. Goodluck Jonathan in 2011 did not win the North. I do not understand why it's difficult for you guys to see what this pathway of this man. And people always make reference to 2023. In 2023, the man in charge of the election was the late Muhammadu Buhari, who was not contesting again. Can I repeat myself again? Buhari has absolutely nothing to lose. Whoever wins, wins. If you ask those who were around during the APC primary, hence a lot of people believe Bola Tinubu would not even get that ticket. I myself believe he wouldn't get that ticket because most of them, including TB Kamechi, what's it, and the Senate president's name? What's his name again? Oh gosh, I forgot his name. Ahmed Lawan, Osibaj, and everything. For every one of them that met Buhari prior to that thing, he always said, okay. So everyone was believing, who is he supporting? They all. Oh God.
Can I still say something? We are not really attacking. You should see it.
No,
like
no, please don't do this. Don't do this. Why is it so difficult for you guys not to interject? Why is it difficult? I don't care if you want to attack me. It's not a problem. Please do not interject. I wanted to make a point. You can attack me. This is not the first time. It's not going to be the last. And I lost my train of thought. That's my biggest problem. No, I think I'm gonna. I think I have enough for today, right? Because when somebody's trying to make a point, you interject. You want to say something, you interject. It is not fair. Anyway, what was I going to say again? During the APC primaries, a lot of people believe Bola Tinubu will not get it because Buhari was telling everybody, okay, right? Bola Tinubu's pathway has absolutely nothing to do with the North. If you want to believe me, fine. If you don't want to believe me, that's up to you. Muhammadu Buhari won the North in 2011. He wasn't able to defeat Goodluck Jonathan. It's very clear to Bola Tinubu that the North are not ready to support him. He knows that anybody, he doesn't need a soothsayer to tell him there's nothing here for you. He knows that the North are not ready. He will nearly, I don't know how many numbers he'll get in the North. So he has a different pattern. So his pathway is very simple. The same thing that Goodluck Jonathan did in 2011. If you lose the North, you can still win the election by winning the South. Is that clear to everyone who cares to listen? That is his pathway. Hence, I'm telling you right now, if there's an election tomorrow, he will win. Because he has his pathway. He doesn't need the North. He only needs maybe 2 states in the North Central. Sorry, 2 states in the Northeast. All Bola Tinubu wants to do is South-South, Southeast, Southwest, North Central, go to Northeast, try and grab 2 states, and the elections is over. Somebody who knows that the North will not win, they will not vote for him. What else do you think he's going to do to remain the president? How is that difficult? Because you don't want to believe it. That is his pathway. And as it stands right now, there is no opposition in these various regions. As it stands right now, as we are having this conversation, there is no opposition. The opposition don't even don't know where they belong. Let's use TB Kamechi because enough of Peter Obi is not the only one contesting. TB Kamechi is there. Do you honestly think that TB Kamechi will win Bola Tinubu in the South? In the South, where he comes from? Let's say TB Kamechi was to clean this ticket. Do you honestly believe that TB Kamechi will win Bola Tinubu in the South? Give me 1 state in the South. He probably will get something in the River State. He will go to Akwa Ibom State and win Bola Tinubu in Akwa Ibom State. You want to believe that? Or Edo State? The problem we have is we don't face reality. As it stands today, maybe tomorrow something else would happen. So when I'm making my prediction, I'm telling you with what is on the ground as we are talking right now. So this is the problem I have with some of you, because when somebody says something, oh no, well, let's see what happens. I'm telling you, you don't have any opposition. How is that difficult for you to understand? You don't have nothing, nada. The numbers are not on your side. INEC stop. No more voting, no more registration. We are not going to register anybody. We are finished with registration. Let's see the numbers. Lagos State, what numbers? Ogun State, what numbers? Borno State, what numbers? This other state. Southeast, what numbers have you got in the Southeast? And you think it's practically, anyway, I don't want to argue with anybody, seriously, because you guys always like to hear what you want to hear. Please, if you're demoralized, if you're not comfortable, this place is not for you. I'm not here to spoon-feed you to make you feel comfortable. So I will continue to speak based on my own data, based on my own analysis. It might not be right for you, but that's my truth. All right? If you look on the Jumbotron, I'm forced to put this on the Jumbotron. When I made that prediction then, Captain, you're here, so we spoke about it sometime last year before now. Captain, you're here, right? Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I
So,
remember.
Comrade, yeah, we spoke about it last year, 2024, that this guy will lose, they will move. I remember having this conversation with some persons who are members of the PDP, like every other person on this platform who is, oh, it's not going to happen. This will happen. This will happen. What has happened today? It is called politics. It's not a game of emotion. It's a game of strategy and numbers. If you don't have the numbers, you might even have the numbers without the right strategy. You are going nowhere. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is tightening everything up. So if the North decide not to vote for him, he doesn't need the North. So those in the South need to understand what is going on. He doesn't really need the North. Take your Kano state, take your Katsina state, take your Kaduna state, take every other thing. He's fine by it. Now, he will not tell you that the numbers coming from Kaduna, those that registered in Kaduna, in Kano last time was 1 million. This is, please, don't quote me, I'm just giving as an example. So 1 million. But this time around, the numbers registered in Kaduna is 1.1 million, whereby the numbers that registered in Ogun State was 500,000. But this time around, the numbers that registered in Ogun State is 2 million. So whatever you're bringing in Kano, you will use Ogun State to clear it out. Can you see the handwriting on the wall? Can you understand why people are registering more? If you don't understand that, I cannot help you. Basinok, you have the mic. Basinok, you have the mic, sir. Sorry, Captain, you need to help me out. I'm calling the speaker, but it's not responding.
Which of the speakers are you talking to?
The man that raised his hand, Basinok.
Vasniok. Vasniok.
Oh, good evening, yeah, good evening, Mindset. Can you hear me? Please confirm you can hear me.
You.
Oh, okay. Good evening, Mindset.
Mindset, can you hear Vasniok?
Yes, I can. I've just have something in my mouth.
All right, good.
Thank you.
I said, good evening. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, he can hear you. He's got something in his mouth.
Great. Okay. It's all right. It's all right. I wanted to make contribution on some of the statements that was made earlier. Especially the statement that we do not have a credible opposition against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And Mindset went ahead to name states that Peter Obi, for example, cannot win Lagos like he did in 2023. He also went on to say that Peter Obi cannot win some other states. Then he also said that because of the registration numbers, it's not adding up for Southeast, for example. So for that reason, he's putting a prediction that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will win the election. And he also put a caveat that he's not going to say by rigging, winning is winning in the best of his knowledge. Well, I won't say I disagree with you. I'll just say that time will tell. Time will tell because I remember the journey to 2023. A lot was said about Peter Obi candidacy, for example. It was said that, oh, 4 people in a room, oh, Peter Obi will not even win a state. Oh, Peter Obi will not even win a local government. Oh, Peter Obi will only win Southeast states. And they had to off the IRF. They had to off the IRF. They had to take drastic measure to stop that tsunami that was coming. I mean, 2023 was going to be a tsunami that would sweep everything away. They saw it and they panicked and they took action on it. So if Mindset is basing his argument on Bola Tinubu controls the structures, what are the structures? Judiciary, police, military. Now he has even started to control governors, whereby you see a political party, an opposing political party declaring for Tinubu. You know, if he's basing that and based on these things that Bola Ahmed Tinubu controls INEC, controls these people. He has the money to spend as against 2023, where fund was low. It took the intervention of Tony Elumelu to get him some money to spend, you know. So if he's basing it on that now Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not just have money, he has a war chest. He has the loans he has been accumulating. He has the CBN. He can give order, release money. You know, on election day, Tinubu can be, if votes are being sold for 50,000, Tinubu can match it for 150,000. You know, if he's saying all that, and he's also saying that there's no opposition, I would say I will not disagree with you. But what the Nigerian people would do, I cannot tell, because Nigerian people are they're very unpredictable. But 1 minute they look docile, 2 minutes they're angry, 3 minutes they forget. So I really don't know what Nigerian people would do, because the election of 2027 is going to be a battle between Tinubu's governance and the Nigerian people. If the Nigerian people are unconcerned about the state of affairs, if the Nigerian people are going tribal, because what Mindset Opinion was suggestive of saying, without putting words in his mouth, is because of the registration numbers in certain states, like Oshun, like Lagos, these numbers are in preparation for what Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants to do. But if we put it to real debate, we don't really know what those numbers are. If they are real numbers, if they are INEC-generated numbers. In my opinion, I think they are INEC-generated numbers, especially like state of Oshun. It might also be that there are real numbers being motivated to vote Tinubu out. We cannot say there are numbers for Tinubu. There might be numbers against Tinubu, right? So my point is, the Nigerian people should not be discountenanced on their possible reaction come 2027. Hopefully, God sparing our lives, giving us wisdom, giving us health, that we're able to see 2027. The Nigerian people will be the one to decide who stays. Because if we look at permutation in Nigerian politics have been tested, and it's shown that it can fail. Permutation of North versus South, Christian versus Muslim, permutation of Igbo versus Yoruba, permutation of North Central versus Core North, it's been tested, and it has been shown that permutation can fail. Permutation of, he has all the governors, he has all the senators, he has all the reps, it's been tested and it can fail. The question is, will permutation fail in 2027? Because a lot of southern governors are jilted. They are not jilted because they think they will lose or win. They are jilted because they know that under Tinubu does not play fair.
Sorry, we lost the other captain. What's going on?
The money no complete, Uncle Mindset.
All right, sorry guys. Let me just use this for a minute. Very unprofessional. I have to throw out.
Uncle Mindset, chop, just chop.
No problem. No worries. Sorry. I do apologize. I like to do things. Okay. Now, hopefully we can bring the gentleman up. I'm not sure why he dropped. So, but let me quickly help some of you out here, right? I'm not going to ask you not to quote me, but if this will help any one of you to understand what might happen or let me use what might happen is it. So there is this thing going that I see. Gosh, this is just saying things I'm not supposed to say public. Okay, now let me ask you a question. How many of you still have your PVC? Do you know any of the young persons or the young people that you help to get their PVCs who still have their PVCs? Can you think of anybody from the polling station that you voted who still have their PVCs? Because I can tell you something that is going on right now. By 2026, by December, a lot of people will vote with other people's PVC, and it's going to be possible. Don't ask me how. That is, when I make my prediction, I bear my prediction not only because I want to tell you what you want to hear, I say because sometimes I have some little information. So some of the PVCs that people voted for the last time, a lot of PVCs are being replaced. Who is collecting those PVCs? Those that voted before, are they still with their PVCs? Are they still with their PVCs? If they're still with their PVCs, go and do your research on it and come back here and let's have the conversation again. That's I just throw something out for you guys to make something out of it if you want to. For a particular state, I might not be able to name that state. Go and figure out, ask somebody, spend your money, ask around if the people in those states still have, some of them still have their PVCs. Where is those PVCs? Who is in charge of those PVCs? Where are they? That will give you an idea of how things will play out. I didn't mention any state, so don't quote me on any state. So if you have your thinking cap, you probably might put one on one together and figure out the state I'm making reference to. Right? So people are being asked to submit their PVCs because, and they're happily doing it because those in charge of that particular state is telling them you have to bring your PVCs and everything, and people are happily collecting their PVCs and submitting their PVCs to these people. And the opposition, it will be very sad for the opposition to tell me that they don't know that that's going on. But you're not going to hear from me because at the end of the day, you guys wouldn't even believe it if I tell you, right? I've said it right now, you wouldn't even believe me. Okay? One of the things that happened in 2023 was they came up with a plan in some of these states, and they registered a lot of people who they called election, I forgot the name they named them in some state, I think 4 or 5 states. And I must commend some people that worked on that particular issue who tried to amplify and say, this is not right. You can't tell people to register for this and you're asking them to bring their PVC. But before then, some persons have registered, have given their PVCs already. So there's a particular state right now, I can't tell you how many percent, but quite a number of persons in that state have submitted their PVCs. So use your tongue to count your teeth. All right? I will leave it at that. Do we still have the gentleman, please? I'm not sure. Captain, are we able to bring him up?
I did send him the mic again.
All right. So
but
okay.
I did request. So I accepted his request. However, I don't know what's wrong with his network. I think a lot of people are coming in and going down, so I don't know. And we have a lot of requests. I just can't bring them up. I don't know why it's not letting them come up.
All right, but we have somebody here, King Z, right?
Yes, you do, and his hands are up. I think Vasniok is back.
Is he back? Yeah. So what do we do then? Do we allow him to continue, or do we pass the mic to King Z? You're gonna make. Vasniok, can you hear me?
I think if Vasniok is clear to speak, why not? And then you can go to King Z if he drops.
Hello. Hello.
Who might that be? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Who is speaking?
it's me, Vashnak. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry, sir. We lost you for a minute, sir. Please, go ahead.
Okay, no, I was going to say that at the moment, I've just come down from my car. I want to get into the supermarket. So King Z can go ahead. When I go back to a comfort, I'll come back up. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Let's go to King Z. King Z, you have the mic. Good evening. I'm not sure. He's a man anyway, so he's King. Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, fellow Nigerians. Good evening, SARS. I thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak. So basically, I'll just address some things. I'll try to be as forward and straightforward as possible. Though some of these things may have been said, but I just want to also address it from my own perspective. Like you said, a lot of these things are from your perspective. Now, when you come to talking about giving an election prediction, that is the 2027 election or the upcoming election by state analysis of who will win which these states, like I said on the Jumbotron, I think is a wrong approach, because just like the last speaker said, the way Nigerians react is not necessarily the way you would predict. That said, however, I also agree with some of the things you've said about the numbers, which is that, okay, look at what this person is trying to do, or look at what he's permutating and all that. But we should understand one or two things. Number one, those numbers we are seeing are pre-registration numbers. They are not qualified registration figures. Anybody that is very familiar with a computer system and knows what to do can generate. I don't know, let me just use, somebody can commission somebody to generate, let's say, 100, pre-registration numbers in a day. And if you commission somebody to do that for you in a month, you can come up with maybe even, or you commission 10 people, you can come up with 300,000 pre-registration figures in a day. Now, the issue is that, yes, they can later turn those pre-registration figures into real figures because because INEC is maybe in tandem with them. But let us not use those figures to already say that this is what it already is. The English there is clear. Pre-registration. They still have to go for, fingerprint verification and all those other things, which we know that this is Nigeria. Yes, I get where you're coming from. So let us not use that to qualify. That is number one. So the issue of state-by-state prediction, we shouldn't go there, because even in 2023, a lot of those predictions did not work. A lot of people here could never have predicted that P2B will win maybe a state even like Plateau. You understand me? Or even Nasarawa. You understand? But it happened. And it happened within the time frame it happened. So with that said, the way the Nigerian people are reacting to the situations in the country, we cannot just sit and categorically say, oh, he will definitely, this is not 2011 or even to 2019 or 2015 that he will win a point, he will win here, win here. I'm not trying to say that anybody will not win any place, but the point is that I don't believe that that approach is right. So having said that, and having said what I said for the INEC registration, I will also go to the issue of what they call it now, the issue of Tinubu's calculation, because I saw what you did there, and what you did there was really very, very, very relevant to the electoral process. Yes, there was a pathway which Goodluck Jonathan used to win the presidency in 2011, which I think I posted something. It has been very clear. Any person that is deeply into Nigerian politics would have also studied that and understood that that was part of even what should have given Peter Obi the election in 2023. In fact, that was what, to me, I think gave it to him. But, whatever happened. But let's stick to reality. Let's stick to what has happened and what the reality of what happened at the end of the day. Now, if you study that pathway very well, there's something you need to understand about that pathway. Goodluck Jonathan got 95% in the Southeast. 95. What does that mean? And some states, one or two states in the South, he virtually denied the opposition of the needed 25% in the Constitution. That was the major key issue. Some of those states that Goodluck Jonathan won, the opposition couldn't get that 25%. Now, if you are saying, Tinubu is going to win it with that safe strategy, doesn't need the note, you are wrong. It's my opinion. I'm not attacking you, please, so that we don't. Why I say that is that even if Tinubu gets I don't know, but are you trying to say with the information and data you have today that Tinubu is going to get 95% in all the states of the Southwest? I don't know. If you say you have the data that proves that's fine. That P2B is not going to do more than, okay, let's say he loses Lagos, fine. Let's even go with what you're saying. I don't believe that too, but I'm just saying, if that P2B doesn't even win Lagos again, okay, fine. So you're going to say that he's going to go from winning Lagos, for instance, just using Lagos as a case study, to doing less than 25% in Lagos. Is that really mathematically or even regularly possible what is going on? I don't know. Maybe you clarify on this. Then add other states. Are you going to say that some of those states he did 40%, 30%, whatever percent, he's not going to do that anymore? So after the Southwest, which this is Nigeria, so sometimes we have to also agree with some of these sentiments of, yes, sentiments of ethnic and all those things, region will come in. Yeah, it's Nigeria is where it is. Now, after that, if P2B is on the ballot, are you going to say that Tinubu is also going to clear the whole of the Southeast and the South at such margins as Jonathan got? Remember what I told you? Jonathan had a region, a full region where he got 95%. So the opposition didn't even smell 20%, not to talk of 25% required on the constitution. Then one or two say his own state by side, which is South, River State, South, and so one or two other states. You understand me? Where he got that 95 or at least 85% and above. So he denied the opposition that. Are you going to say that Tinubu is going to replicate that? Then he went to other regions. That's so in Southeast and South, he got close to almost 85% of the vote. If you want to, like, how do I call it now? Average it out or something like that. Are you going to say Tinubu has two regions in this country currently as we speak where he's going to get 85% of the votes as of today? I don't know. And I doubt that very, very strongly that he has two regions. Okay, let's use Southwest and South. So you're going to tell me that today Tinubu is going to get 85% of all the votes cast in the South and the Southwest today? I doubt that. Then the North Central, if we want to bring the North Central into the picture, because that's that pathway that you're talking about. I say he doesn't need the North. Tinubu is going to win the North Central. If you have other candidates, other viable candidates on the ballot, Tinubu is going to win them by that kind of margin. I would say that no. Yeah, it depends on who is on the ballot and who is not on the ballot. With a lot of the things going on in the North Central today, there are a lot of states and regions that obviously he will not win simply because of, maybe, I'm not trying to say he's the one engineering it, but because of the realities of what some of those people are going through. And that's just the fact. So, having said that, that pathway is an established pathway because it has worked in the past. But for you to say he doesn't need the North now, I think it is premature for him because I do not see any two geopolitical zones where he has 85% shock votes. In the last election, he didn't even have one region where you can say, one geopolitical zone where you can say he had 80% or 70% of the whole vote in that geopolitical zone. Then going from that to this. However, with let's not use the word rigging, like you said, with the permutation, the things they are putting in place and the structures and all that, let's see how it goes. So I'll just try to quickly round up, you understand me, going in. So I think I've addressed the northern issue. I've addressed the state-by-state approach request as of today. It's not, to me, it's not viable. Voters registration issue is a pre-registration figure. It's not the reality. When we start the boots on ground issue, then we'll see the numbers and we'll now see what is really going on. Then finally, there's something one speaker talked about, what they call it now, the opposition coming together. He had a very good point because why? Coalescing together really would do a lot because of what? The lessons learned from 2023. If disregarded, yes, truly, then in 2027, it will just be like repeating, doing the same thing again and expecting a different result, repeating the same movement. So the coalition really has to coalesce. The opposition has to coalesce in a way that they will be able to ensure that whatever votes that they are getting are being counted and are being reported at the final stage. Without that, of course, all those structures that you say are being put in place by the sitting government will probably work in their favor. You understand me? However, like the things I've said, depends on who is on the ballot. Tinubu does not have the South. He doesn't have the South. The highest he can do is that he will get the Southwest, but that Southwest is also a contested zone. I doubt he can pull off 95%. The best probably I will give him is maybe 70%. That's just my own prediction, but let's see how it goes. So that said, I think with that, I think there's still a very viable pathway for Peter because of his organic popularity, because of his organic, acceptance, and because of the fact that once we have the right structure, the right platform, the right things on ground, and it doesn't take, rocket science, it doesn't take like it was shown in 2023. You don't need all these governors, senators, House of Representatives. Some of them that even decamping don't have the structure, they don't have boots on ground. They were put in like, I don't use some of the LP senators LP, lawmakers. I think that's the word. Some of them were put there by the wave, not because of the going there by. So is it those people now that will now change the outcome on the ground? They are not the ones on the ground. Some of those people, some of us that did those work on the ground, it was just a top to bottom thing to make it happen. So if everything still aligns properly and Peter Obi is on that ballot, it's still the same thought, and those people will go home and rest. They have no real political value like that. So, and that's why some of them are jittery and decamping and doing all this thing, because they knew what happened in their states. They knew it was a tsunami and they barely just survived it. So that's why they are singing for where to go, because they know they don't really have that hold on ground. So what I'm just saying in summary is that if that hold is there, it will be a battle, yes, but it will be a winnable, very, very winnable battle. So I think most of my points have been quickly summarized. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, King, for your wonderful submission. Now, sorry, sir, can you please? Thank you. I was going to ask you to mute your mic. Thank you. Now, you started by mentioning percentage from. Am I saying this person will not get 25%? I'm not interested in percentage here. I've never discussed percentage. You're the one that came up with this idea of percentage, right? And remember how we got into this whole thing because Mr. Joseph said about we were discussing something else before Mr. Joseph spoke about Peter Obi. So let it not look like the platform is about saying Peter Obi will not win an election or something. I just want to be very clear with that. So I did not discuss percent. Sorry, you raised your hand. What is it regarding, sir? So I know how to respond. Mr. King, you raised your hand, sir.
Okay. You know that with the way the group is structured, the one has to. So what I'm going to in percentage, you know the way the constitution is. You need 25% in 2/3 of states is a constitutional requirement. So even if you win with the general election, you don't get that 25% in that 2/3 of state. It will result in what, like a rerun or something like that. So all calculations in an election, as in Nigeria, the way Nigeria is currently constituted, includes that 25%. You understand me? So that's why I'm going to when I say that Tinubu doesn't have the South, because why? Even if can he deny the opposition that 25% in the whole of Southwest? That's number one. Then can he now deny them in the whole of South, and Southeast before you now call the North? So for us to say today that he doesn't need the North, no. Go and look at Jonathan's own. He denied Buhari 25% in the whole of Southeast, and then majority of South, like Rivers, Bayelsa, and all those places. So that was why even with whatever numbers Buhari wanted to bring up from wherever it's coming from, it was already clear that he will not meet that constitutional requirement. It's clear in the constitution of those states. And maybe I may be, how do I say it now? I may be projecting my own belief. Yeah, but that was part of the reason why to some people, the way they see it, during Buhari's time, he sidelined some people for some region because, like I said, they didn't even give him 5%. That why should he give them much attention? Though he still did one or two things there. So the point, let's just leave Buhari side. The point is just that we need to look at that aspect of that 25%, because if you say he doesn't need the South, where is he going to get 25% in 2/3 of states, which is around 24 states? and deny
All right.
his opposition. That's okay. Thank you.
Okay, I think we are missing something here. So I've always said this thing. If you want to quote me on based on what I said. I mentioned 2 states. So you're the one that started this whole issue about 25%. I'm not interested in 25%. I'm telling you outrightly where I believe somebody will win. Whether they win with 1%, we win with 20%. That's not, that has nothing to change. That's not going to change the fact that they've won. So you're the one that started to say, do I think that P2B will not win 25% in Lagos State? It doesn't matter to me whether he wins 30% or this. I'm telling you who I believe will win. Now, let me go back to not needing the North. I think sometimes when we're discussing, we're having this conversation, one has to have an open mind and listen, not just to listen. You listen and you learn as well. It's very important. Not needing the North has nothing to do, he doesn't need 25% in the North. Right? Good luck, Jonathan got 25% in every other place. It's not needing the North. It's like what happened in 2023. Bola Tinubu's pathway was quite a difficult one. Hence, he has to win Zamfara State. Whether you want to argue that it was rigged, obviously it was. He has to win Borno State. He has to win Jigawa State. Right? Now, it is quite a very difficult thing for him to go back and say he's going to win Zamfara State. He might still win it. So I'm not interested in your 25%, whether this thing. I'm talking about winning the election outrightly. So I want us to understand. So you're saying your candidate will win 25%. Am I saying he's not going to win 25%? Whether he wins 4% or 3%, what I'm saying to you is this is where I know this person will win. So saying he doesn't need the North does not mean he wouldn't get percentage in the North. Obviously, he will get some numbers. But his pathway is not thinking he's going to go to the North as he stands right now. And remember, there's a condition to this, right? We are discussing if the election was to happen tomorrow. I hope you understand that, because 24 hours is a long time in politics. Any other thing can happen. Now, why do I say he doesn't need the North? The thing that the Northerners, a lot of them did for him to win states, some of these states, is, it's quite, it's going to be difficult for him to do the same thing again. A state like Katsina State, PDP won Katsina State, but if you look at the numbers in Katsina State, what PDP was given in Katsina State is not what PDP got. PDP got a lot of numbers and it was shortened down. Go to Plateau State. What Peter Obi was given in Plateau State is not what Peter Obi got. Peter Obi did extremely well. A lot of people focus so much in Lagos State. Peter Obi did extremely well in Plateau State. Peter Obi did well in Nasarawa State. But because, things that happen, right? I am not interested whether he's going to win 25% on this or that. That's not my business. My point here is, if there is an election tomorrow, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will win. Whether you give him 1%, you give him 5%, that's not my business. That's where I stand. If call that election tomorrow, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will win. And you're making an argument that do I think he's going to win the South? Do I think he's going to win the Southeast? We'll wait and see. We're just gonna relax, wait and see. Hopefully, the 2% I believe the opposition have in their, to change the narrative, it might still play out. So when we are going to revisit this thing, please bear this in mind. There is a condition to this. You have one thing that might sway this election to a different place, and everybody will say, "Wow, what happened?" Obviously, I believe you know what that is, but that's not the topic for today, right? If you don't know, I might be able to come to your DM. Maybe I can share some of those things, but that's not the topic. That is one thing that might change the narrative of this whole election. It might still happen, it might not happen. So that is by the side. So when that happens, don't come and say, "Oh, mine said, but you quoted this thing." Remember, there's a condition. Now, the other 1% that you have is if the opposition were to, in the next 3 hours, find a credible person, right, who they can all support, and they will show leadership. Bola Tinubu is defeatable. He can be defeated. So I want you to have that at the back of your mind. There is a condition to this. But as it stands right now, there is nobody there. There is no permit me, I do apologize. Let me take that word back. There is people there, but people don't know who. There is no pathway. There is no structure. There is nothing to show that these guys are serious about it. So if, as we're having this conversation now, we finish, we go out there on the timeline and we see that, wow, the opposition have now decided that Mr. A, I don't want to put names, please, so nobody will misquote me, or we're going to go with Mr. A, and then we see Mr. A in the next 2 minutes doing what is required of the opposition, right? Even those who have sold their PVCs will start saying, Mr. King, please, I need help. Somebody came to our house and asked us to give our PVC. We need our PVC back. The other persons will say, I don't know what happened to my PVC. Everybody will start speaking the same language of 2023. Go and get your PVC. But as it stands right now, there is absolutely nothing from the opposition that says that they are ready to remove Bola Tinubu. Mr. King, did you understand where I'm coming from? Or if I don't make myself clear, I'm quite happy to repeat
No,
it.
you are very clear, and I will just be very brief, because the other people that need to talk, and I'm not the only one that will be here. I think I like the last part of your summation. It makes a lot of sense, and is a reality. This is politics. Is in fact, it's like is a battle. It's like a war game. You have to really be realistic on the things you are doing on ground and the things you are doing at the top, and match them together. So that's why I talked about the issue of, when I was making my summation, the issue of the opposition coalescing behind a candidate. And I think doing it on time will also help to some extent. So everybody will be able to like key into that thing. And just like you said, one who can do that will be able to, know where we are, what we are going and where we're going. And for me, as of now, that is as of this time, because of the way Nigeria is, no matter how we want to look at it, those things are very relevant. Regionalism, ethnicity, geopolitical, all those things come in. Anybody that wants to say all those things don't matter is because of that. No. We just have to accept the reality of what it is, and how do you now work with those things to get to where you want to go to. So what am I saying? Currently now, for Bola Tinubu, if he has a strong southern candidate on the opposition ballot, it will be very difficult for him, because why? You have challenges in the south and in the north, which currently seems not to be going with him. He will have challenges. But if he has a strong northern candidate on the opposition ballot, likely, the way I'm seeing it, the sentiment in the south seems we favor him. I think that's just where I will just end my summation. I think all of us here know what we know, and that's what it is. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So you understand the condition behind my prediction. So when you quote me, or not yourself, or those who like to insult with it, I don't have a problem if somebody disagree with me, right? But you understand exactly what my predictions are based on. Okay. All right. Let's go to
based on how it is today. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. I like that word, how it is today. So I think that's the word I'll be using right now. Do you mind if I brought that word from how is it today? I really like the way it came out, right? Thank you very much. Let's go to let's go back to Mr. Vasinok. Guys, it's actually 10:11. So let's be very mindful of time so we can carry our others along, please. Thank you. Vasinok, go ahead, sir. Sorry, Vasinok is not responding. Can we go to Sadiq then? Then we can come to Sadiq.
Okay, yeah. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I see my boss is here, Captain Jamil. Good evening, sir, and other dignitaries here present. My submission is very brief. I would actually want to say, yeah, the biggest challenge in the country right now is issue of this coalition that has to maybe do with any sentiment or greediness of one not to convey the power to the most, let me say, relevant candidate. Because honestly, if Bola Ahmed Tinubu can have a very strong opposition from the south that will have a massive support from the north, it's a hands down win for that very person. The only issue is if the coalition can agree on a very free and fair primaries, probably Obi can win primaries. Maybe if the one thing about coalition is that I think in coalition they hardly go for primaries, but this time around, this coalition is intended to go for primaries. And this primaries has to do with sentiment and some other element of doubt. Why? Because if they agreed on these primaries, I believe a lot of Atiku boys will now contest. And in the long run of the primaries, they can all step down to him and allow him to win the ticket hands down. So I think that will cause a very big problem to obedient people, especially if he agrees to join the coalition on the basis of the primaries. So I think if these people can understand the narrative and are really willing to see a new Nigeria and a better Nigeria for all, it's high time for them to harmonize themselves and have an into, let me say, domestic issue to be resolved on time. Let them just decide who will go for president, who will go for vice president. If if they can agree, if let's say His Excellency Atiku Abubakar can agree to give ticket to South, I believe Obi can have that ticket. And if Obi have the ticket and merge him with either of these, either Malam Nasur El Rufai or Malam Pantami, either of the two, because they are very gigantic and have a very massive support from the north. I believe that ticket can go a long way. And if Atiku maybe win the primaries and Obi agreed often the primary election they did and decide to support him with all his people, obedient people and everyone, that is going to be another plus for the whole Nigerians to see a new era. Why? Because I believe if Atiku wins the ticket, whosoever Atiku goes with on as vice president on the primaries, he has to step down that person and take Obi as his vice president. And all the southwest, southeast, south will vote for Atiku because of Obi. And all the southwest or as well will also vote highest percentage of Atiku. Why? Because of Peter Obi. So in the north, they won't have any problem. Peter El Rufai is from the northwest. Pantami is from the northeast. So all these, even the Atiku stuff is from the northeast. And North Central is not a problem for Atiku because of the Senator Dine Melai, Bukola Saraki, and other people he has on the North Central. So if they really want to see a new era of this country, these are the two things they should work on. They should work on these two things and do something reasonable about it, because it is high time now, because the movement is now shaking and should be crippling in one way or the other. Why? Because greediness and sentiment are being put ahead under the merit. So this is just my little submission, and I believe obedient are also doing well. But honestly, as you said in your last submission, Obi did well in Plateau State, in Nasarawa State, but he hasn't done so much well in these K3, Kano, Katsina, and Kaduna. And these three states are the major states that any presidential winner can put more emphasis on these three states, because the highest number of votes from that regions is not a play job for any presidential winner. So this time around, I am from Katsina State, honestly, and I'm working tirelessly to see a new Nigeria with or without any problem. So I believe if we work it hard, we're gonna have it best. So that is my little submission. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Sadiq, for your wonderful submission. I heard you talk about North Central, and you mentioned how Atiku would do well in North Central. I respectfully disagree. North Central is between Peter Obi and Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Atiku might get some votes, but I mean, it's quite a very difficult one for me to just, on top of my head now, to tell you the state I think Atiku will clear in North Central, right? He might get one or two if. But in terms of who is actually in control in those two states, is between Peter Obi and, North Central. The Battle of North Central, permit me to use the word battle, please. They're not fighting there, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. It's between Peter Obi and Bola Tinubu. Places like Plateau State, Bola Tinubu knew that Peter Obi did very well. So you can see.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank you. So you can see what they're trying to do to make sure they will take the state from him. The APC chairman is from there. Then if you go to Benue State, the SGF is from there. So you can see how they're trying to make sure that they put everything there. Now, what might work for Atiku, possibly in Benue State, but it's going to be a very, very difficult one. It's going to
Yeah, very difficult one. I agree with you.
Sorry, if you said to this, can you mute your mic for a minute? So it's going to be a difficult one. I know he has the likes of no, I'm not even going to put no disrespect to him. I do not think that it's going to put so much weight in Kogi State. I don't think there are a few others that can put weight for Atiku in the North Central, but in Benue State, because of depending where if he gets the tickets, right? If he gets the ticket, so you look at it, okay, what can David Mark and Gabriel Susuan do for him and everything? But as it stands right now today, North Central is between Peter Obi and Bola Tinubu. You can disagree with me. I don't have a problem with it, but that's my own reality, if that's okay. So on that note, let's go to Comrade. Please do hold your thoughts for a minute. Can we pass the mic to Chuka? I think Chuka wants to speak. Let's hear from Chuka. Then I'll come back to you. Chuka, you have the mic.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm really loving this space. I wholeheartedly agree with what you're saying. I might take it a bit further. I don't see pathway for Tinubu to win 2027. I just don't see it. I think that APC is going to do what APC does. Every defection, they're going to make it seem like heaven is falling and everyone needs to just join in. And what they don't understand is that, sorry, I'm at the park with my son. That's why I'm breathing hard a little bit. But what they don't understand is that just because a governor defects to a different party, and I'm speaking of what happened with the Enugu, it doesn't mean that Enugu people are going to vote for Tinubu. It doesn't mean that because your governor has gone to a different party, it doesn't mean that the people will follow you. Same thing in Rivers, same thing in Akwa Ibom, same thing in Imo, same thing in Ebonyi, same thing in any other part of the country. If we look at the elections, what is this word? If we look at the elections last time, 65 to 75% of Nigerians voted against Tinubu. I don't know too many states that he even got over 50%. Even in Southwest where he's from, he barely got 50%. He is in a huge deficit. And I don't think 4 years is enough time for you to be able to recover that deficit. Okay, go climb. It's not enough time for you to recover that deficit, especially when you have tribalized all the positions. The very people that actually help you to get in power, you sideline them. You sponsor tribalism all over social media, print media, everywhere. You talk about everyone. I mean, what part of the country does the president not talk about? So go slide. Yes, go slide. I'm gonna see you. Let me see you slide.
Sorry, Mr. Chuka. 1 minute.
I don't know what kind of.
Mr. Chuka, I apologize. Please, thank you.
Oh,
thank you very much. Please, I don't want it to look like we don't want you to speak. Please, sir, if it's safe to do so, we're 1 minute.
I'll wrap it up.
Please, sir. Please, hear me out. Please. I know you've waited a long time to speak. Please, if you need to attend to your child, we are still going to be here, right? You can attend to your child, and when you're free and you know that it's not going to disturb you, right? Please, you can request for the mic, raise your hand, and I will pass the mic back to you, please, if that's okay. All right. On that note,
it's your space. No. I'm
okay,
free now.
Okay, go ahead.
You don't want me to speak, it's fine. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. So, I just personally feel like it's an uphill battle. I don't want anyone in the opposition for us to be discouraged. I'm actually very optimistic. I might even be too optimistic because I just see that Nigerians are not getting anything from this government, if we're being honest. Things have become worse. Um, this government tends to play petty politics. We actually saw a president that used the military to take out another governor. He is an isolationist. He is a regionalist. He is someone that is a divider. And a lot of the people that are cross-carpeting over, I don't even know how they're keeping their seats, because aren't they supposed to vacate their seats if they go to from one party to a different party? So I don't know how, just realistically, I don't know how he can win. I don't see people in the middle belt voting for Tinubu. I just don't. I mean, the majority of them will probably vote for Peter if he's given the coalition ticket. Even Northerners, I'm hearing some Northerners on this call, which is very encouraging. I'm hearing them talk about how they probably will vote for Peter Obi if he were to join forces with Patami or Erofai, which makes sense. And I'm looking at Northern Nigeria as a part of the country that honestly wants to move on. They want to end banditry. They want to end all this extremism. They want Nigeria to go back to some level of normalcy. All of this whole Muslim versus Christian division, all of this dividing, I mean, I don't see how you can create this kind of divisive atmosphere, but somehow benefit when it comes to elections. I don't see how a region that voted 85 to 90% against you will somehow give you a victory, unless there is some level of massive disturbance or, what people like to call structure. Realistically, we need to all calm down. And I'll land with this. Do we realize that elections is like almost 2 years away? We have time. I don't want anyone in the government to make it feel like, oh, you must have all of your life together by tomorrow. We haven't even had primaries yet, for Christ's sake, and everyone is jumping helter-skelter because of some defections that will literally have no impact when it comes to the elections. Akpabio is the Senate leader. Isn't he the leader of the Senate from Akwa Ibom? But if you add PDP and LP, Akwa Ibom voted against APC like 90%, right? So I mean, everything to me on this side, everything is running smoothly. And let me land with this. Thank you, Mindset. Wonderful space.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Tuka, for your wonderful submission. I'm not going to disagree with you. If you believe that you have time and you think people should take it a little bit easy, and depending on which side you are, I'm not going to tell you not to do so. But one thing I will tell you is this: based on the little I know, at least the 1% I know about politics, the opposition don't have any time on their side. Time is not on their side. And I will put this thing out there. And I want anyone to go and do their research and fact check it and come back here and tell me that what I'm saying is not factual. In some states, the election of 2027 have started in some states. So if you think you have time, I can't argue with you, right? There is an interesting thing going on in Ebony State. I mean, this is the only thing I can tell you. If anybody from Ebony State, they can request for the mic, and I might be able to, speak a little bit on it. But there's some interesting things. So anyone believing that the opposite, there's still enough time. The 2027 election have started already. One thing I think we're fair to understand is this: the way the Supreme Court have interpreted the election tribunals and things that come back, INEC would defend anything. Nothing has changed. Right? Nothing has changed. So whatever INEC say happened, they will come out to defend it, whether somebody rigged or they don't rig. We want to believe in rigging or anything. So I don't want a situation where anybody's thinking they are going to court. You have to win at your polling unit. You must follow that result. Make sure whether it's in IREV, you make sure it's announced. If you're going to use your lantern or whatever it is, you must be there, because the moment it gets to the courts, the way it stands right now, only if by tomorrow, right? Or next tomorrow, we heard that there's a judicial reform, the elections, this would happen. But as it stands right now, in some states, at least I know for once, I know one state, election of 2027 have started. Anybody sitting there waiting for the election day, anyway, this is the only thing I can tell you guys. I'm not going to go deeper more than this. Thank you very much, sir. Comrade, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Mindset. Am I audible?
Yes, you are, sir.
Okay. So I am somebody who has been in the PDP since 1999, and I'm somebody who loves the opposition and detest everything about APC, not because I don't like them personally, but because I don't like their style of politics, and neither do I like the style of politics of Tinubu in his person, but I don't hate him personally, but I hate everything about his politics. But look, when it comes to reality, it's not about emotions. All we need to do is come out with facts and look at what people are saying and get our pen and paper and know how to work on them. Okay, let me give you an instance. What Mindset is trying to send or the message is trying to give out is not as if he's saying that Bola Tinubu has finished the election. No, but he's telling you from his own premise and from the information he has. Let me give you what I feel. Bola Tinubu is not Buhari. Neither is he Jonathan or Obasanjo that you think. This is a man who has fought, lost, learned, and recalculated his way through every political era since 1990s. This is a man who has fought the military, clashed with Obasanjo in 99, survived the Yaradua, and outplayed Jonathan. Even as at that, eventually broke through Buhari and the Northern Cabal till he got to where he is. And look at it, Tinubu is not a lucky man. When people say he's lucky, no, he's a calculating man. Every political decision he makes is deliberate. Every alliance he makes is strategic. And every move he makes is part of the long-time gain or formula he has in his hand. Many forget that when they say Tinubu did Muslim ticket, it's because many Gen Zs don't know. The 2023 Muslim ticket was not new. It was a replay of an experiment he attempted in 2011. In 2011, he sponsored Yaradua, who was Nuri Badu under ACN, who was Nuri Badu's VP, if you can remember. It is Fola Adiola, a Muslim. So Tinubu calculated that move and perfected it in 2023. These people were both Muslims, likewise him and Kashim Shettima. So it's not something that he does because he wants to do it for fun. Let me give you another instance. It is the same Tinubu who chose Kashim Shettima as a VP, recalculated the same move because who was Abiola's VP? It was Babagana Kingibe. Babagana Kingibe was from where? From Meduguri, a Muslim. So this is somebody who plays this game 10 years, 5 years ahead. I mean, we all don't like his style of politics, but it's not emotions. You can see it. This is somebody who plays 10 games ahead of you. And you are just playing him like a ping pong. No, you have to be strategic. Babagana, he went ahead to pick Kashim, just the way Abiola picked Babagana Kingibe, a Kanuri Muslim. And when you look at it well, he studied the formula. And even after 30 years, he has shown that, look, he has won with the same formula he has practiced in 2011 and that of Abiola. So it's a matter of strategy. He knows how religion divides people. He knows the system. He's calculating. Now look at the landscape he has built. Governors are defecting into APC like in droves. Not because they suddenly share the same ideology with him, but because what? They know where powers live and they know the kind of man they are dealing with. So Abuja has become a political altar where everyone wants to sit close just because he's afraid of what Tinubu can do. I don't say it's the right thing to do, but these are people who are already weak and have already sacrificed their ideologies for Tinubu. Why? And the opposition need to sit up. We are sleeping. The PDP, once a symbol of dominance, which is my party, is now in its intensive care. It has no clear ego, no direction, no ideology, no message. It's just saying it's going to deceive, it's going to win, it's going to remove APC. How do you intend to do it? I mean, this is a party who has lost more than 4 governors in less than 1 year. This is a party who don't even know if all their members are together for them or some of them are for Tinubu. This is a party whose members fought for Tinubu to become a president. And then when you come back to the ADC and Peter Obi with Atiku, which I really love the energy, but there's something lacking, which is time and direction. Because you need precision to tackle somebody like Tinubu. If it wasn't Tinubu, I could have felt comfortable. But this is a man who have showed you all his antecedents. While we remain divided, Tinubu continues to consolidate, and he has the power in his hands. Look at the appointment. The INEC chairman, which you all know is from where? North Central. Same with the APC national chairman. Same with the SSG. And these are the country's most strategic swing region. As a politician, that's not luck. It's a calculated balance just to control the political middle belt. And lastly, I will say, see, the opposition has failed in one thing. After the 2023 elections, I was thinking after the controversy we saw with INEC about the transmission of electoral votes and the judiciary, the way it fumbled, I was thinking we will clamor like for electoral and judicial reforms non-stop. But this was our moment to determine like the new laws, make it clear, and ask for reforms of INEC and judicial processes. But we were quiet, just going to TV and make noise and come back. And it's already 2027, less than 1 year. You have lost senators, you have lost House of Assembly members, House of Rep members who are going to clamor for you. So by failing to do that reform, you've handed Tinubu the same rule book that he has mastered. And so what must the opposition do, if you ask me lastly, is just unity, just push aggressively, invest in grassroots, and then understand that Tinubu has this structure and timing, and time is not on our side. And one mistake, we are doomed we just go back and sit down. One mistake. And I'm just waiting to see what happens at the ADC primaries. What happens at ADC primaries will determine automatically if I'm even going out to vote or not. But until then, I would just want us to have this picture. It's not about emotions. When mindset says these things, let's look at the point he's making. It's not as if he's saying that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has won already. No, he's saying as of today and tomorrow. And I agree with him. Anything can change. 48 hours, 1 month is very big in election cycle. But from now, let's look at the antecedents. It's been 3 years. What has happened? What is changing? I rest my case for now.
All right, thank you very much, Mo. Please, then you guys have every right to disagree with me. You don't have to agree with me. I respect people's opinion, and it's fine when we disagree, and then we learn from one another. But just to add something, people always talk about Southeast, and if somebody's in the Southeast. The election has started in a state called Ebonyi State, and Ebonyi State, as in the whole of the Southeast, Ebonyi State is Tinubu. People would think Imo State because Hope Uzodinma. No, there's something magical going on there. Permit me to use the word magical. They are ready. Ebonyi States, they are ready. They know where their mind is, and don't ask me how they're doing it. Don't ask me how they did it. Don't ask me what they did. But that's all I can tell you right now. For those who are still believing there is time and everything, right? Just use your tongue to count your teeth. Okay, that's the only state I can tell you right now. They are ready for the election of 2027. If you say we are starting tonight, the result will be coming out. Or else something magical happen. There has to be a positive. Something needs to happen. There has to be something that, when you hear it, you say, okay, guys, let's go out. Let's do something. But as it stands right now, there is absolutely nothing out there. Absolutely nothing. And let's pass the mic to Chelsea. Is that Chelsea? Chelsea Addict. Quite a very interesting name. Sorry, Mr. Chelsea Addict, you raised your hand.
Okay, sorry. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mindset. Thank you for the opportunity once again to speak on your platform. Am I audible enough, please?
Yes, you are, sir. Please go ahead.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I would like to talk on some of the election management strategies and election management instruments. You see, when you highlight the very importance of voter registrations and voters mobilization in election management that will actually result in the outcome of any elections in the country. It is so paramount and it's so important. Now, when you are planning for elections, one of the strategies in election management is voter registration. It starts from voter registration. Now, your ability as an individual who has interest in contesting, or who has ambition, or any party that has an ambition in contesting an election, you must plan right away from voter registration. You have to mobilize people to register because because what you need is people to come and vote. And without voter registration, how would people vote? So when the ongoing voter registration in the country, when we see some figures in some certain area, it is not a joke. It is deliberate. It is deliberate and intentional. It is a work plan. And again, and also, when you talk about election management, you also need more voter mobilizations. The voter mobilizations comes as a result of voter registrations. You can only mobilize those who have registered. For instance, now, somewhere that you have 50 election voters, then you cannot mobilize, when election comes, you cannot mobilize 100. It's impossible because the total registered voter in that particular place is 50. So it is what you register that you mobilize. So these are the little areas that elections are won. And we can see right away, I think the ruling party has gone far ahead in this area. So though the other party can still catch up, like Mindset said, if they put their heads together, they can still catch up. But as of today, with these voter registrations, nobody, no political conscious person will actually neglect that factors. It is very, very important because the more you mobilize, the more you register people, the more you tend to mobilize them. This voter registration is deliberate. When you see some figures coming out from some particular areas, you cannot neglect that because political parties that are so much interested in this, they tell people, they mobilize people to go and register their vote, to go and register. They go to secondary school, they go to shops, where worship center, they mobilize their people to go and register. After they register, then they take this, how they do it. They take note of that. They take note of those people that register. They have their contact and things like that. And when election period comes, they go back to them again. They mobilize them. And you begin to see some figures coming out of that. So nobody should actually neglect that or underestimate that factors in the election cycles because it is very, very important. And in this area, the ruling party are going ahead so fast. So, and I hope perhaps the opposition parties, probably when they come together, if time sees persist, they can do something as regards it. And also, I want to talk about the importance of governors in elections in Nigeria. Everyone knows that the importance of governors cannot be overlooked. To be sincere to ourselves, when governors at the companies, even for the optics, just imagine for the optics that one side is gaining while the other side is reducing. For the optics, it works psychologically to some people because it will demoralize the other people. Why increase the morale of the people that they are going to? So you cannot tell me that in a context where there will be an election, the governor will not mobilize when the election comes. The governor will not ginger their people when the election comes. The governor will supersede their state when the election comes. And the mistake people are still doing is that they tend to compare 2023 election or what happened in 2023 to what will happen in 2027. I bet you, guys, it will be a total ball game. You know why? Because, Mike said something earlier. He said in 2023, the former president Buhari was not running. So either the election swing to PDP, which is his brother, or switch to APC, which is his party, it favors him. And when you look at the cabal very well, you will know that they are indisposed to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu victory in that election period. Most of them did not work. Most of them did not do anything. Take, for example, Raif Alogbeshola. They didn't campaign. They didn't even vote. He didn't even vote. These are Buhari people. So the way Buhari handled that election in 2023 leave room for opposition to thrive in some states. And do you think that President Tinubu will allow that? In election management, take for instance, the governors supersede the election in their state. And what makes that effective is when you have the backing of the federal. For instance, now in Enugu State, okay, we now say the opposition will have much freedom as they do in 2023. In 2027, when the governor will be having the backing of federal with the apparatus of the state with him, of course, the governor will influence that. The governor will use it against opposition in that place because he now has the apparatus of the federal backing him, unlike in the previous election, in which the federal did not even, they didn't make available any federal apparatus to use for them, and the opposition thriving in those areas. So the scenario of what happened in 2023 repeating itself this 2027 election, I can bet you is 30%. Even more, even I'm very sure it will be less than 30%. So saying governors are not important in this scheme is very, very wrong, and it is political suicide. So as much as we want to say the electorate, the Nigeria will vote, who will mobilize Nigeria? Are they not politicians that will mobilize? Who will mobilize people to vote? Are they not people that will mobilize? People that in this country, one thing I've been able to observe very well during elections is that people that go and vote on their own election day, without people convicting them, without anybody mobilizing them, the percent of people that vote to go and exercise their voting right on election day is around 20% of total voters. The remaining 80% are people that political parties, association, interest, people convince, mobilize to go and vote. So it is only few people that will go and vote without political motivation, without political mobilizations. So definitely, it's now boiled down to who is mobilizing who. And that is where these governors and political business comes in. They are the one going to mobilize people. So it will be it is only few people that will go on election day without influence, without anything, without anybody mobilizing them, because they are exposed, they know what to do. Okay, they want to go and exercise their vote. Only few. Others are being mobilized. They will mobilize people, they will push you, yeah, go and vote, okay, go and vote, go and do this. That is where incentive and things like that come from. Okay, go and vote, I will give you money, go and vote, party gives money, things like that. And these things are backed up by state governors, especially governors that are looking for second term. Governors that are looking for second terms, they will mobilize very well in their elections. They will make sure that since federal is backing them, they will come out really big to make a statement because the election is the second week. So whatever the opposition is doing, they should consider and they should act fast very, very well. They should act fast very, very well. Because like Michael said, I almost agree with everything his postulation on this issue tonight. Because when you look at the reality, without any emotional attachment and things like that, he's correct, almost 100% correct with his postulations tonight. Like what he said, as of today and tomorrow, if election is conducted, my brother, you and I know where it's going to swing. As of today and tomorrow, if election is conducted, no room for opposition. Truth be told, that is the reality. And the pathway is clear, like Good Jonathan did in 2011, just south.
So,
Somebody was saying,
sorry, Mr. Chelsea, if you don't mind, please, because of time, if you can kindly round up, please, so we can carry others along. Thank you.
Okay, please, I will round up. Like you said, in this election, his plan is to actually use the South. Actually, that is his plan, to use the South. Someone was trying to argue that how will he get some percentage in the South, things in the South. If you look at the elections of 2023, like I said earlier, it's not going to be election of 2027. There are a lot of realignment, reawakening, tribal settlement, ethno-religious, regional, a lot of things. And that is what he is instigating. That this is the tone of the South. And people are buying to it. But people are not considering that. People are buying to it. I'm telling you today, if the election is conducted in Southwest today, the president will get 70% of it in most of the states. He will get 70% in most of the states. Even a state where the opposition is ruling, he will get 70%. So I want to believe that the opposition have a lot of works to do. They have a lot of works to do. If they are really sure that they want something meaningful in 2027 election, opposition has a lot of works to do. I will be sincere to you guys. And we have to understand the reality. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chelsea, for your wonderful submission. I'm sorry I have to interject because of time. As I've always said on this platform, you don't have to agree with me. Everybody have every right to disagree with me, and and hold on to your own view. But let me carry those on the comment section along before I pass the mic to the next speaker. King, the one on this block, he said, so Borno, the headquarters of Boko Haram and insecurity, has the highest voters. So it has the highest voter pre-registration. Guys, I don't understand how. Rather, we are talking about how Tinubu will mobilize and win. The handwriting is clear, and we continue to mortgage our future or take it back. Okay, you can see the handwriting now, right? So when I say these things, I'm not saying it because I want you to feel upset. I want to demoralize you. I want you to feel that your candidate don't stand any chance. That is the handwriting on the wall. If you believe, I mean, a state like Borno State, like you rightly mentioned, a state that ravaged with insecurity is having 783,546, right? Then you have Osun State with 632,751, Lagos State with 590,341, Kebbi State 557,000, Ogun State 489,000, and you keep looking at the numbers. Come to FCT 228,000, and somebody cannot see this handwriting. I do not know how difficult it is, but let me quickly read out what others are saying. So, Lacanzo, please permit me if I butcher your name. Say, rig them through ballots, snatching, voting system manipulation, and judicial imposition. And I think the other things are people responding to orders. Okay, Akintoye said ADC doesn't need primary. If they are serious, they should go for a consensus candidate in Peter Obi. If they throw the primary open, APC will sponsor an aspirant, and an aspirant that will disrupt the primary with money. And DNH say you don't know what you're saying concerning Ebony. Please, sir, I don't know. What do I know? I don't know anything about Ebony State. I'm not from Ebony State. Like every other state that I spoken about. Some of these states, I'm not from them, but maybe you're from Ebony State and you know better than myself. All I can tell you is that the election mobilization in Ebony State have started. You don't need to see people lining up. I don't know if you want me to tell you what it is that has happened and continue to go on in their state. If you're from that state, you're not going to see people lined up. Somebody's going out to mobilize them. But the other things you probably might not hear from me, but I can tell you for a fact that the mobilization in Ebony is going on. It started since last year. So if you cannot see it, if you don't see it, if you don't see people doing these things, I'm not going to help you. But you're from Ebony State, I want to believe. So let's see how it plays out. Well, thank you very much for your wonderful submission. I want to believe that we have covered every other thing. My co-host, Captain, thank you very much. Do you have anything to add as we round up quickly? Hello?
Uncle Mindset.
Yes, do you have anything to add as we round up? It has turned into a space. You know, I wanted to speak about the somebody asked a question. I wanted to come on the platform to talk about the depression in Enugu State, like we said it was going to happen. So let me quickly remove you from the jumbotron. And before you know it, as always, it turned into a space where a lot of speakers have aired their views. Some of them, people might not believe them. Some of them, people might disagree with them. But we are all here to learn, right? Me saying that if the election is conducted tomorrow, Bola Tinubu will win, is my own opinion based on the little I know. Maybe by tomorrow he will not win, and then Mr.
Other mindset. Can I just sorry because we're almost ending.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
No, you can't tell me.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
This is
sorry.
very, very unacceptable. Very, very unacceptable.
No problem.
You can't tell me no problem. You've caused the problem already. Why is it that when you listen to when Mr.
No, I felt that we're already ending and changing the direction of the
No, you can't do that. What you could have done.
No, my hand has been up since so. But no verse.
You see, I have a problem, right? When I'm speaking and somebody cut me off, I will lose my train of thought. I can't remember exactly what I'm saying. And I do not know how to beg you people.
You're talking about what's
Please,
happening
you're
in
doing this thing again.
Sorry.
Sorry, guys. I apologize. I don't know how else I can help. I've tried to manage this space. I've tried to give people opportunity to speak. I try my best to make sure we have a conversation where everybody had their own view. But one thing I have begged yesterday, I did the same thing. Day before yesterday, I did the same thing. Please, guys, I beg you guys, please. I am not the best space host, right? I have never claimed to be the best space host. But if you're going to be on this platform, please, I beg of you, respect my rules. Do not interject, because that's how my mind is wired. When I'm speaking and you interject, the whole thing I'm about to say, I won't recollect them again. It's just gone and it's gone. And it doesn't feel good for me. And you did it twice. Even if we are going to continue with this platform, I've done it several times. I said, one thing, guys, we are here. We have new speakers. We are going to continue. But this thing that you guys do, you guys are not being fair. You guys are not being fair. And I don't like it. And, when this happens, I don't know how to conduct the spaces anymore. But King, do you have the mic, sir?
Okay, thank you very much. And I also want to apologize because You have been very clear on what you said. I will just say very few things and then I would drop and sit. All I just want to say is that number one, on there's something the last speaker talked about, which are about the governors and things like that. Nobody is disregarding their impact in elections, because why? They have the financial capacity, which is usually from the state chairs and all that kind of, but that's not the issue. But they have that capacity and they are pushing. So that is number one. Then also, they will also mobilize and do their mobilization. But however, like I said before, we cannot discount the spirit of the Nigerian people currently as we speak. There's a lot of people in so many places in the grassroots. Like me personally, I work a lot in the grassroots, but I don't need to talk about myself. But the point is that there's a lot that's happening now in the grassroots, which happened in 2023, but as of then, we're not seeing it. But I think the ruling party now is seeing it, and that's why they are making some of these moves. However, it doesn't mean that they have covered it. No, they have not, because they have not really touched some of those places where the grassroots is really speaking to. It is for us to say, okay, if we want to get this election or want to win this election, these are the things we need to do. I will also say that probably up to 80% of what you, the hosting of the space, or maybe 70, I don't know, have said, I kind of agree with you, because elections are won based on reality. So that is that. So now, what I talked about, the southern dichotomy or the southern issue of how Tinubu will win or will not win, is a fact. Is a fact that is based on reality. That fact is based on the fact that those governors will not win all those states all on their own. They will not. If we have the right candidate on the ballot, I think we need to understand this aspect when we are making some of these debates. It's not about P2B, it's not about Atiku, it's all about the opposition. And I like the fact that we're talking about this word opposition. Now, that opposition, what is the decision they're going to make? I like what some people have also said, that it is best if the opposition probably comes up with a consensus candidate. There's some people that may not like that. They'll say, no, it's a democracy. We have to do this. We have to do that. Fine. However, sometimes when you're in opposition, you must not play everything by the rules, because even the ruling party is not playing by the rules. They are doing a lot of underhanded games. So you have to play by what will get you to where you're going to. And today, because of the way the nation is, as of now, this is more of a southern candidate thing. And it will be more better to project as another candidate. And if you look at that map of how Goodluck won in 2011, the best person that can replicate that map is not Tinubu. The best person that can replicate that map, or a variation of it, a version of it, maybe adding some 1 or 2, he may not win, but maybe percentages, 40%, 30% in some northern states. It's actually, another southern candidate that I think can do it. And we've worked that figures, and it is very doable. However, the opposition has to sit up. The opposition has to do the needful. The opposition has to coalesce and come together and do what should be done. If those things are done, it will be a very, very winnable situation. Then finally, issue of voter registration. Yes. One thing we should understand, for instance, now, let me give you an example. Anambra State now is totally excluded from this pre-registration because of the by-elections that was done in Anambra State, and some states also excluded. Now, where am I going to? Pre-registration and final registration are not the same thing. While I understand, yes, because of the way Nigeria is, some of those figures can be later transported and become the real figures. But let us not use those figures to take it that is now what will become the figures at the end of the day. No. We saw some of the figures that INEC posted prior to 2023 election in some polling units, in some states. In most of those states, did they post those figures in the real election? No. There are some states that posted, they have 1 million voters. At the end of the day, you see that the total number of voters that finally was collated and everything and did the result that decided election was maybe 500,000 or 700,000. Whereas the INEC figures of total registered voters, go and look at the total registered voters of Nigerian voters today. It's close to 90 million, if I'm not mistaken. But this last election was decided by how many million people? P2B got 6 point something. I think we got 6.9 or so. P2B maybe 6.2. Don't quote me, please. I'm just giving rough figures. Then Tinubu got 8 point something. If you add those two together, maybe around 13 for the two opposition candidates. So everything was divided at less than 30 million. Whereas INEC register is talking about close to 90 million. So let's not too much. Yes, I understand where we are going to with those calculations and permutation. Yes, it matters and it's relevant. It's relevant when people don't come out to vote. It's relevant when people don't mobilize and come out. It's relevant whereby you don't organize and make sure that your votes count. That is as a party, as a structure, as a people. But whereby people actually come out to vote, you do the needful, you ensure that what is going to go in. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Go and look at the total voter register in Nigeria. It's close to 90 million. Look at who decided last election is at most 30 million. So it's not about all this posting figure. Yes, it matters where people don't come out to vote. People didn't come out to vote. No, let me tell you, even P2B's campaign.
Sorry, Mr. King, you're just pushing it now. Can you kindly mute your mic for a minute? You told me, and not only to myself, you said you're not going to take time because I was about to round up.
Okay, let me just round up. Sorry, sir. Let me just round up. I will not take just a few seconds. Even P2B's campaign, they probably didn't predict that he will win Lagos State. They probably predicted he will do well there in terms of numbers. So where am I going to? Where I'm going to is that let us leave the aspect of that's my own opinion, and I've given the reasons why and the figures why. Let's leave the aspect of look at numbers coming out from here, look at numbers coming out, look at numbers coming out from here. What we need to focus on, if we say as an opposition, we need to get this thing is very simple. Number one, get the right candidate on the ballot. Number two, organize properly. Once we do that, it's a done deal. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. So moving forward, please, if anybody on this platform, if you're not going to keep to time, please do not come on the platform. Right? Even though we are friends or we're following each other, if you're not going to keep to time, or if you're going to interject or you're going to interrupt, please, there are other beautiful, platforms out there that you can work with. That's the way I work here, right? If you're not going to keep to time, please, this place might not be for you. And if you're going to interject, you might need to leave this place. Okay? I'm just being honest with you guys because it's just getting on my last nerve. I've repeated this yesterday, the before yesterday, and I'm continuing to repeat it again. If you're not going to keep to time on this platform, please respectfully leave the platform. I don't need numbers. So what we're going to do, we're going to extend the time. Please, guys, if I raise my hand, you see I raise my hand, I don't want to interject. Just know that you need to round up. Please, it's very important. Please, I'm begging everybody right now, please. Mr. Vasinok, you're still here. Do you want to continue where you stopped? Sorry, Vasinok is not responding. Captain, can you help me out? Is he still there?
Let me see. His hands are up.
Okay, he's not responding then. So let's find who else do we have? We have just those that just joined. Who else do we have? We go with is it Sabi or Ade? I don't know who was the first.
I think it's Sadiq first and then Ade or Mojola next.
Okay, Sabi, please go ahead. Good evening, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for the second opportunity given to me.
No, sorry, it's not Sadiq. I said Sabi. Sadiq, you have spoken already now. Please, let's try.
Okay, sorry.
Let's try and see those who just joined now. If they please bear with me for a minute. I'm Sabi.
Oh, okay, sorry.
There's somebody here with A on the avatar, Mr. Sabi. All right, since Sabi is not responding, Sadiq, please, you can go ahead, sir. Let's remove him.
Okay, thank you very much. With regards to the issue of grassroots mobilization and the number of votes. And I think, honestly speaking, this time around too, we're getting it very wrong. I am one of the grassroots mobilizers from Katsina, and what we're currently doing is entirely different from the experience we had in 2023. In 2023, we were just doing the work without proper data collection, proper record keeping, and all of that. This time around, what we're currently doing is we're dealing with numbers, and we are doing weekly engagement. And our primary concern is for the women, honestly, because they are the majors for casting vote and influencing other family members to cast their votes. So what we're currently doing is we do have weekly engagement with different communities, and those communities we name them as clusters, and each of the cluster is representing a word. So anytime we engage with one word, we have the women leader there, we have the women leader from the word down to the polling unit, and we do take the numbers, the record of them, those who have their PVC, those who don't have PVC, the children that are aged 18 and above that doesn't have PVC, those who are underage but can be 18 in the next year. So what we are doing is we do take their record, all of them. We now segregate those with PVC, without PVC. Those without PVC, we promise them that with subsequent time, we're going to take them to the INEC office or any of the CVR centers to do their registration and to have their PVC on time. So I think if we can keep it like this, especially in the northern part of the country, we can have it right. We can get it very right this time around. Because dealing with grassroots mobilization without numbers or data record or keeping up to date with people you are engaging with, I think is a mess, honestly. So let us keep it this way. If you really want to get it right, honestly, we have to do it diligently, and we have to involve the women more than 80%, because this is what we're currently doing, honestly. And I don't want to talk much, but I think we can do this, and I believe by so doing, we can achieve a very reasonable number of votes, and we can also influence other people to come and do the PPC, so that we can have a very large number of votes, because the number of votes from 2015 to date is decreasing, not increasing. Looking at how late President Muhammadu Buhari won the election in 2015 with almost 15 million votes, you cannot even compare it with 2019 and down to 2023. So I think if we can deal with numbers and details this time around, our record keeping is very, very paramount and important. And by so doing, we can be able to fish out those who are the wrong guns in the movement. Because in last election, we are so greedy. We started it very late, especially we that are obedient. We started it very late, and God so willing, we were able to at least bring a better picture for the country. So this time around, I think the earlier we start it, the better for us. And I would love it when the major concern is being shown to the Northwest precisely, because we have grassroots, and those grassroots people are not even mobile, are not even smart. Most of them are not even using smartphones. They don't even know what is Twitter, Facebook, and all of that, because they are people from the rural communities. And those are the primary target, our target audience. Those are the people that are coming out on election day and cast their vote. And those people have one mindset in their minds. Once they agree to vote for one person, the whole community will now agree to respect that very person in the community and vote for that single candidate. That is one honesty about northern people and rural areas that have that kind of integrity. So I hope this time around we can learn from our lesson and do the needful on time, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Sadiq. You're from Katsina State, right?
Yes, I'm from Katsina.
Okay, so when you say that you guys, your movement started late in the north, I'm not sure if it's only in Katsina State, because I'm aware of some persons. There's this guy, I forgot his name. I think it has to do with something up north. They are one of the first persons in the obedient movement. Sorry, sir, if it's possible to do so, can you please mute your mic for a minute, please? Thank you. There are some of the there are some of the obedients who we are going in the north before the 1 million march. So I'm not sure if I don't want to disagree with you because in your state, maybe, people started late, but there are other obedient that I've seen, and I know that some of them that I worked with who worked in the north, those guys started a little bit early. As of 2022, they started their mobilization. The moment Peter Obi started, before he even joined Labour Party, these guys were talking about this is who they wanted to vote for, right? So, but I mean, maybe that in Katsina State they started late, but I'm happy that you are here to tell them that they should get the ball rolling. Thank you very much. Hopefully they will listen to you and they will follow everything, all the advice that you have given. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on the platform. Mr. Ade, good evening. How are you, sir?
Hey, good evening, Mindset. Good to see you.
You've just joined us now. So, last time you were here, it was quite interesting, right? So we want to stick to the topic of mobilization. I mean, you've listened to some of the speakers, right? So I just want us to focus on that. I don't want us to digress and then change another topic, and then we're going to be here for 2 hours. So do you want to know what the topic is all about, or are you happy to continue where the other stopped?
No, I've been here for a while, a few hours, listening while I was working. So I just wanted to respond to what I've heard thus far.
Please go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you very much. So, I mean, look, I think, like you've been saying, right, the handwriting's on the wall with regards to this upcoming election in 2027. Today, I think you're speaking from the school of realism, right? If you're to be realistic, if things continue in the trajectory that they are today, it's nearly impossible for President Tinubu not to be reelected. And not just because some of the governors are changing parties, right? I think those guys are doing it because they're looking more at 2031, post Tinubu's presidency, and they're trying to position themselves to with align with where the power is. I mean, look, even if all the governors in Igbo land defect to APC, I don't think Tinubu will win that region, right? His goal is to pick up enough votes in that region, and move on to the other parts of the country. I do see that. I do see a clear path for him in Nigeria to become re-elected, even though I will not fashion myself to be an expert in this regard. But Combat spoke earlier, and his analysis is spot on. You have difficulty if you want to be realistic, not delusional, not overly idealistic. If you listen to what Combat said, you don't have difficulty with not agreeing that Tinubu is stacking the decks. People, it used to be that they would say that if you won Kano and Lagos, you're in. But Tinubu didn't win Kano in the last election, 2023. He didn't win Eko, right? But he won the presidency. So he's showing us a different way of playing presidential politics in Nigeria. And I think the man is a master strategist, right? In this upcoming election, Tinubu is going to win Yoruba land, hands down. Like, you just don't even bother trying to compete with him. People of the core are not going to vote for Tinubu. I mean, I'm going to go. They're not going to vote against Tinubu in this coming election. They will not vote for Peter Obi. They will not vote for Atiku. If you want to be realistic, right? And in the last election, the only state, even in Yoruba land, the two PDP, in the southwest geopolitical region, because Yoruba land is beyond southwest, but in the southwest geopolitical zone, the two states that Tinubu lost were Oyo. No, sorry, the two states that the PDP held were Oyo and Osun. He even won Oyo, despite it being the PDP state. The only state that Tinubu lost, apart from Eko, was Osun. And this time around, they are putting so much energy and focus into Osun that I think they're going to flip it. They are likely going to win Osun this time. And even if they don't, they're not going to lose Oyo. This time, they're definitely going to win Eko. So, because if you look at how I think there's been an epiphany following the 2023 election. Because you saw how the election was prosecuted with a lot of the ethnic factor came to play. And it will always come to play in Nigeria's elections. You can't escape it. And some of the election that was issued, we're going to take Lagos, all these things. The people of the court voted for Peter Obi in the presidential election, and within like a 2 week period, they changed their minds and they went for the APC in the local elections. So people of the core have been really thinking, particularly about land, right? There's an awakening with regards to the ethnic Game of Thrones in Nigeria. There is a renaissance of understanding that there is no particular ideology that's going on in just politics. The ideology is really ethnic politics. And so anyone who thinks that Yoruba land is going to vote against Tinubu this time around is just you're not following the earth is shifting beneath your feet, and you're just going wrong. I think Tinubu will probably pick up. He'll probably win majority of the South, and the Middle Belt. He's also going to win, if not all of the Middle Belt. He will win a good amount of there because he has been appointing people from that region to federal positions, and they are very happy about that. And they have long been ignored. If you want to be honest, in Nigeria's politics, they rarely get selected for major positions within the administration. And they have been appointing them to positions. They're happy about it. There's infrastructural development. There's a road from Makodi, that's being done. People who are over there are they 100% happy? No, but I think that they're pleased to an extent. So if you look at, Southwest zone, much of the middle of the South zone, much of the middle belt, if not all of the zone, and if he picks up a few states, maybe 1 or 2 states in the east, even if he gets no states in the east, and he gets a couple of states every day in the northeast and northwest, it's over. Game over. So it's going to be very difficult to defeat him with the way. And look, you may even see more governors defect, which is like their influence is going to come in his favor. I also think that while people are underestimating President Tinubu, they are overestimating the opposition, whether it is Atiku or Peter Obi. I think Peter Obi has lost a lot of popularity in the last couple of years, and I don't think people are ready for that reality. But you are going to see as time passes. People are watching his behaviors. There's some inconsistency. I would say there's some hypocrisy going on here. The people are like, we're not sure this guy is very, very the one for the country. Look at again, look at just looking at the strategy in the country. The way the rhetoric he issues, the people are noticing that he's always very ethnic sided in his rhetoric. You can't do that and expect Nigerians to put you in office, right? People are banking on this economy being so the economic struggles in order to win for Tinubu to be voted out of office. It's not going to happen. We are being to understand that the Nigeria was practically bankrupt after Buhari's presidency. Tinubu had to reform the economy, make tough decisions. Now, the Naira that was skyrocketing has stabilized, right? Are there going to be occasional inconveniences? Yes. But the economy is being stabilized. And even though the palliative measures took a long time to go around, by the time the election comes around, most of those measures would have even gone even farther than today. I think we underestimate Nigeria's understanding of why the economy is the way it is. Whereas I admit Tinubu did a bad job in explaining what's going on with the economy and why we have to take such drastic measures. I believe they are getting the word out. People are understanding what's happening. The measures they're taking are beginning to spread through the economy, and you'll be surprised that this whole economy is bad thing will not necessarily play in. It's been overestimated. Finally, the coalition. I don't see them on sitting President Tinubu because, first of all, who's going to take a back seat? Will Atiku take a back seat for Peter Obi? Never going to happen. That man's been running for office since, I think the 1990s, trying to get into the presidency one way or the other. He's getting older. He's not going to take a back seat for Peter Obi. Not going to happen. And I think that people are overestimating Peter Obi's influence in the North. I also think that they are going to remain split because Peter Obi will have difficulty allowing Atiku to be president for him to wait for 8 more years because I think he has a little bit of delusion about the depth of his popularity, which has decreased since the last election. So Peter Obi is not going to want to step down. Atiku is not going to want to step down. They're going to remain split, thereby leaving the gap wider for Tinubu to walk through on top of what is already put in place right now. So, I'm waiting to see how the game is going to play out, but I think it's really playing in favor of President Tinubu right now. And I'll yield on that point. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ade, for your submission. So let me start with the popularity thing that you spoke about. Popularity, Peter Obi still have that popularity. There is no, I'm not going to deny that he's one of, if not the only, presidential candidate or politician in Nigeria whose name sells everything, right? If you put Peter Obi's name on anything, if I want to start, a pure water business now, put Peter Obi, I will beat every other person. So popularity wise, his name sells like anything. I think the thing here for me is that some of the states where he won these elections, I can tell you for one state that at least I've mentioned the name of that state. So what they've done or what they're doing is they're looking at the places that he won, and they are reaching out to the people that voted for him in that particular area, and they are, doing whatever they're doing. So that is one thing. I'm just saying it publicly. So anybody that is part of Peter Obi's group that wants to make sense out of it, I wish you guys well. That's the best I can come up. I can tell you. So that's what they're doing. But in terms of popularity, nobody comes close. And I've heard people talk about he's not really popular in the north. You might say not everywhere in the north, but let's not forget that Peter Obi did well in Borno State. I do not think that a lot of people realize that this man did well in Borno State, right? In southern Borno especially. I mean, you and I would argue with this, like we argued last time that the elections were not rigged. Elections, I can tell you, we are rigged in Borno State. I mean, PDP won Borno State. APC rigged it. They rigged both LP and they rigged both. And for some reason, they keep canceling things. And, INEC announced Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So, where else again? Then in the Northeast, Peter Obi did well in Adamawa State. He did well in Taraba State and all those states. In the North Central, he did well. So when people talk about he's not popular in these states, I don't think that it's factual, in my own opinion. One thing I think, and the one thing I know that these guys are doing is that they're looking at the places that he did very well, and they are tightening up those places. That is the thing I'm trying for his supporters to understand that, listen, guys, for those who are waiting and believing that elections have not started, for me personally, these elections have started because there are people who are working hard to see who won these polling units. Do you know who was in this polling unit? Those things have been going around, going on, right? But in terms of popularity, it will be very unfair. It will be very unfair to say that he's not popular. And you talk about Northwest, that Tinubu win Northwest. That's a very interesting one because I think Bola Tinubu has his own pathway. If he's able to do it, if he's able to get one state in the Northwest, which I'm trying to on top of my head, which state that would be, I'm trying to figure out. Jigawa, it would be a very difficult one. Jigawa was one state that, somebody decided that whatever it is, he needs to show Sule Lamido, teach Sule Lamido a lesson. I think that's what transpired in Jigawa State. But popularity-wise, Peter Obi is still popular. Well, thank you very much, Ade. If anybody disagree with me, sorry, Ade. Oh gosh, I love you guys.
I was waiting for the finish. I don't think I interrupted your train of thought. I didn't say that Peter. I didn't say anything about Tinubu and the Northwest. I think Tinubu tried for the northern part of the country to just win, a few states, even if he doesn't win any states, to get enough votes in those states to stay afloat. I'm not by any means saying that he's going. I'm not calling the Northwest for him or the Northeast, but his northern strategy is to get some votes, just as in the Eastern strategy. His path is going to be most of the Southwest, a good amount of the South, and much of North Central, aka the Middle Belt, right? Because he has shown us now that the former dichotomy of Kano and Lagos is not the only path to the presidency, right? And so, even if Peter Obi tightens up his game in the states he won in the previous election, without gaining new states, he's basically standing still. So if the electoral map were repeated exactly as it was last time, Peter Obi is not winning. And you still have the problem of the Obi versus Atiku dichotomy. Where is the path? Again, Tinubu is going to continue with, and he's not going to lose the state that he won last time. Not at all. If anything, he's going to win more states this time around. So, like, how is he going to do the magic? Now, I'm not saying that the elections were not rigged, right? I want to be very clear. My point when last time I was here is that nobody could prove that the election was rigged in the court of law. There are two different things. The former is very nuanced. You may say it was rigged, okay, fine, anybody can say whatever they want. But I've always maintained when it came to the court of law, none of the parties were able to prove that the elections were rigged. And part of the problem is because everybody played dirty. And under the principle, let me just final sentence. There's a principle of law that says that he that comes to equity must come with clean hands. If any one of them are dared to introduce evidence in court, whether of rigging or violence or whatever, guess what? The other party would release evidence that they did the same thing, and the case would be summarily dismissed. So they were very careful to tiptoe around that issue, not accuse each other of rigging, and to focus on INEC, which even in that case, they couldn't prove their case. I yield for now. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Dacey. I don't want us to go back to INEC and proving cases, and I think we discussed that on Saturday. Or was it on Sunday night or Saturday? I can't even remember. So we discussed that. So I do not want us to go back to that. But I do get your point. You believe you say that these things were rigged, even if they're rigged, one was not able to prove it. Okay, but thank you very much. Now, before we round up, Sadiq, you raised your hand. I think I saw what you put out there. So I think you can speak, please, if you want to. But the individual you tag is the person I was making reference. I didn't know you're part of those groups. So those groups, you guys did what is that? Who is that? You guys did extremely well. But you can speak for a minute or two, sir. Sadiq.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Yes, in my last submission, I was referring to the whole movement in the country started late, not precisely Katsina State as my state, because I was among the first 3 people that started the movement in Katsina. We started with Chigoze, myself, then Abdul. It was later then we connect with Suleiman, then we continue the movement. So now we are starting very earlier than any other state, honestly, because I think it was the initiation of Katsina State that gave rise to the Off North ambassadors. That was the idea behind, because we started in Katsina and we activated all other 19 northern states under Off North ambassadors. I work with Jack, I work with a lot of these obedient people. So this time around, what I'm seeing is Peter Obi have made name in a lot of places. It's only that we need to sell him more in North than any other region, precisely
la la.